All right, can you see me? There's Perpetual. We're testing video and sound. Can you hear me? Let's do this. Oh, hello, Andrew. How are you, buddy? I got Ari. So I apologize. First time live streaming. We set it up ahead of time, had the link, put it out there, and of course, it didn't work. So just started a whole new live instead. Through the link in the other chat. Hopefully everybody finds their way over. But does everybody know Punisher Lemans? What's up? Whoa!
Less than graceful.
So he's been sanding on this car, and it is smooth as glass, obviously. But I've just been checking out the Lemans. This sucker's got a massive turbo on it. You just won't even believe. So I'm kind of excited to hear it rip roar down the track. But we made a nice little appointment to get together and swap some parts and hang out and talk Pontiacs. So that's all we're here to do today. Hoping you guys got lots of questions for us.
What's up, Barry? Perpetual? Bear Rose?
Bear Rose. Awesome. So go ahead and drop some questions in the chat. We're going to try to answer all your questions about his Pontiac, my Pontiac, and anything else you got. He's got a whole wall of Pontiac stuff, so I don't want to hear he's not a Pontiac guy. Yes, he's got an LS. So do I. They're cheap and easy. Why wouldn't we? Hello, John. Thanks for coming in.
Having a Bear Rose in the chat, that's kind of like having a legend in here.
I mean, yeah, he's a superstar on YouTube.
Right.
He could have taught us how to do this, but he would have told me to use StreamYard.
Right.
All right, what do you guys got for us? We're just a little over 30 days coming up on No Name Nationals. I wouldn't be honest if I didn't tell you I'm a little worried about my car making it. But then I came to see this guy's car, and I mean, he's pretty far along, but I don't feel as bad about mine now.
I keep taking it further apart.
Yeah, that's the thing. I keep trying to put mine together, and I'm watching all these other guys take their cars apart at the last minute, and I'm going, well, at least I'm only putting mine together. All right, what do we got here?
Irish.
I got Jay in here. Yes, Jay, you got a Pontiac, and yours runs, so you're way ahead of both of us. Old man in the shop, hello.
What's up, Irish?
I can only imagine what he's hitting. I did bring the Tappy Tap, the BF Goodwrench. It's in the truck just to shoot some video. It is out there.
I got a little concerned when he got out of his truck with this big Tappy Tap because I don't need no Tappy Tap. I fixed all my dents.
He was pretty quick to say, hey, I don't need that on my car. And, you know, it's all for show. But I did bring it. Yeah, Perpetual, you guys, I get why you took your truck down. I totally get it. But when I saw yours taken down more than mine, I felt, okay, well, hopefully mine will be done before theirs. Yeah, Jay, I see it. You're driving. Just rub it in, buddy.
Well, as a dirt track racer and an old rock crawler guy, I like doing things at the last minute.
You know, being a paramedic, I guess I kind of work best under pressure. I guess I self-engineered some pressure into it by not even having a car when I signed up. And then I had about 100 days to get it done. And here we are, gosh, a little over 30 days. I think I'm going to make it. Well, I'm going to make it. I just don't know if the car is going to make it.
You'll make
it. Oh, no. Irish is literally driving. So you're not driving the Pontiac yet.
He's got the ambulance, right?
Yep.
That is a cool ambulance.
It's awesome. I show all of my buddies at work, and they all think it's So you got everyone in the EMS community cheering on the ambulance for good reason, because it's awesome.
My wife's a nurse. She likes the ambulance.
Yeah. I look at it this way. We all get together, no name. We can pile as many as we can in the back before the floors give out, and then we take a run in the ambulance that way.
We need somebody with a Pontiac hearse.
I mean, his is a hearse.
It is.
It's a hearse ambulance combo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the cool thing is it did actual triple duty. It worked as a coroner's car, a hearse, and an ambulance. So it's seen the whole iteration in its life. And he had a cool bubble light that Barrow sent him, but UPS picked it up.
That's no surprise.
Yeah, I got a box yesterday from UPS with a huge dent in it. And I thought right of you, Jay. It doubles as a hearse.
We may need it to tow all those dead Mopars back.
I mean, he's also got Blanche, the El Camino, Ranchero. Don't want to mix those up. I mean, we can put a lot of lawnmowers in the back of that.
That's a cool car too.
It is. Blanche is pretty cool.
I watched him getting that thing running, just throwing bearings in it. That's pretty cool.
I have to say, I have to love the ambulance just because. But on his channel, the MX is awesome. But I don't know. I'm pretty partial to Blanche. She's definitely grown on me.
NSB, what's up?
Hey guys, how's the weather down there? It's actually decent here in Missouri today. Yeah, it's kind of sucked for the last several months, but
it's been triple digits lately.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh, it's Shop Cat. Here, kitty kitty.
Shop Cat, what's up, buddy? I can't wait to meet all these guys.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. That's the best part of all of this is we're going to spend, 2-3 days with some of the coolest people in car YouTube community. I mean, yeah, Blanche definitely has a thing. But you think about it, how this all got started, and I know a lot of you guys were there when it got started. I thankfully got to be a part of it, but I came in way late. But it's a bunch of guys sitting around a chat room thinking up what's a cool way that we could all get together and have some fun and basically just chill out with our bros. And No Name Nationals is it, man. This is the coolest thing ever.
Dalton got me into it. He messaged me on Facebook and said, "Hey, you got a cool car. I think you'd like to No Name Nationals. Check it out."
Oh, for sure. He's a guy that, and so I came up on No Name Nationals because I'm on Instagram as well, and I was competing for subs between Instagram and YouTube. And of course, Instagram, I had 5,000 subs right away, or followers. And YouTube, I was just slowly climbing. It had a few hundred when I got really going. And then I found this guy that had the moniker Two Hacks on Instagram. And I'm like, Two Hacks Garage? What is that? Well, one day he posts a picture of this GTO just riddled with bullet holes. And I thought, is that his car? And they apparently had gone to a show and taken the Holy Goat. I didn't know Dalton. I didn't know Pole Barn Garage. I definitely didn't know Jeff at Two Hacks. But I thought, these guys are cool. I'm going to follow them. And I don't know. I followed Jeff for about a month, and it led me to come into one of John Wilburn's live chats. And I was hooked from that moment on. I instantly got it. I heard what the guys were talking about, and it just made sense. And it obviously doubled my subscribers, tripled them, in fact. And I now have an actual car community that I love to hang out and talk to. I mean, I wouldn't know Ray and the Punisher Lemans without this. So this guy was just a few hours from me. I'm willing to make the drive just to come see this awesome car. Like, I know you guys have seen his channel, but it's just something different to see it in person. This car is amazing. The way it's engineered, it's got the cage. It's awesome. So far beyond what the BFP Pontiac at my place is. My car it'll run and drive, and it'll have all four wheels on the ground. And that's about all we got.
I don't care if the front two are off the ground as long as the back two remain there.
Well, I could probably get them all off the ground when I deflate the air and it sits on the frame, but that's probably the closest I'll get.
It's a good thing you're adding frame to it.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't seen my shorts, there is a big video coming, a long video of all the framework that I'm doing, because just in the back of my car, the front's good. Pretty much from the fender well forward on the rear, the frame's solid. It is perfect. But from that fender well back, I know you guys have seen it, it's just Swiss cheese. But then we get to the back and the frame's good, just all the floor and the trunk and all that was gone. So I don't want to hit the throttle and then the back of the car fall off. So I am fixing it and doing it right. And the fact that I'm making it an adjustable suspension, I don't want there to be any flex. I love how my doors close now, and I don't want to change that by tweaking the frame. So it's going to be a very unique car. And if John Wilburn will put in a limbo contest, I will probably win it.
Might as well. We got everything else.
Yep, Barrows. I'm hanging out with Punisher in the Punisher Lemans Garage. And that's the car behind me. I'm telling you, we all saw it driving around, but now that he's got this big turbo on it, it's going to be a beast. I'm telling you.
Oh, no, but I told Jeff at 2 Hacks it was going to be NA. It's NA, Jeff.
Yeah,
in case
so
you're watching.
I haven't seen Jeff in here, but he'll chime in. He'll probably text me. I'll hit him up. Just keep watching the comments, guys. I'm gonna throw out Jeff a text.
I am going to throw down with mostly old parts and rust his turbo Dodge versus my turbo Pontiac. That should be pretty cool. LP94, what's up? Welcome to the Punisher Garage.
LP94, that's Lars, buddy. How are you, Lars?
I can't remember everybody's name, actual name.
You gotta love Lars. So how's JB doing with the trans? Are you there? He said he would be in and out, but he's got to work on that transmission. I'm missing comments, so I apologize. Oh, there's Jeff. T-Bird or the goat? T-Bird, right?
Either.
Well, Jeff, just come in the chat and you'll find out, buddy. There's JB.
Congratulations on the 500.
Oh, yeah. I knew JB was going to get there, just like Buck. We watch these guys who have been integral to No Name from the very beginning, and without them, we wouldn't have half the community we have. And then I'm watching these guys sit at 200 and 300 subs going, how the hell are these guys not 500 to 1,000? Well, Buck proved that, right? 500 and then bam, he just shot up. And Perpetual, you guys are awesome. Your content gets better every time. Amber and Travis do a great job of making it entertaining. And of course, JB, dude, when you started adding the saw videos and the sharpening videos, that absolutely had to be it. That kept enough variety in your channel where people can watch your car stuff, and then when they're sitting around not knowing what to watch, they can scroll through and go, oh, that looks kind of cool. And it's that methodical machinery that just, I don't know, it mesmerizes me. I like it.
I'd like to see everybody who's participating and making videos and trying to get there.
Oh, absolutely. I look at it that way. There's even guys that I won't mention that I'd rather not see there, but if they really want to be there, I want them there. And they might not be the best community member, But if they want to be at No Name Nationals, I want to see them there, and I want to shake their hand and say, congrats on making it. I'll give them the extra sub if that's what they need.
Right.
But, 99% of us are, family here. We love this stuff. Yeah, JB, you guys nailed it. I will tell you guys this. So Bear Rose and I kind of latched together early on, and I kind of got what he was going for, and I think he got what I was going for because we're moderators for each other. But if anybody's struggling on what they can do some content on, I mean, we all got projects, but sometimes you just get a little stale or burnt out. Talk to Bear Rose. He has some very creative ideas that if he's not using them, he might share them.
I'll tell you, watching him get the rust out of that gas tank, I would have never thought of doing that.
And yet, I've heard the old timers, throw some rocks in there and shake it all up. But he made it practical. He made it work. And then how he lined the inside of the tank, that was really cool.
I was kind of concerned he was going to blow himself up at one point, but
I think he was too.
I mean, it's legit.
Sitting in the hot sun all day. I know I'm saying it wrong, but Alva, I know who you are. Welcome. Dakota's timeout. All right, Irish, Perpetual, Bear Rose, you know what to do. Dakota's got about 1 million accounts.
I thought it was Dakota's time in.
He's got time out. He's got time in. He's got, well, I can't even name them all. Oh, NSB. So I'll be honest, the fun content like mail call and opening boxes has just taken a back seat to, I got to get the car done. So I'm trying to video as much as I can on my car for the frame and suspension work that I'm doing. But once that's done, it's a matter of throwing the wires and the battery in. I have a Bluetooth drive shaft, but I'll throw some welding rod together and make something if I have to. Honestly, the car is not that far away from being done. It's just a lot of tedious framework. I'm not really that worried, but of course we got to make it drama for YouTube. So we're going to lose the shop if we don't get it done in time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
JB, no.
But I'm going to move the camera just for a minute. I know there's not a lot of light, but so there's a twirly bird on the front of that, and it's going to get connected, and when it does, it's going to be sick.
So Buck bought me some exhaust pipe. That's all I'm needing now to build a downpipe and run my turbo lines, and then that's ready to go. And then paint it and interior and roll.
Yeah, everything else. Yeah.
Just everything else. It's no problem.
I mean, I was planning on coming anyway because he's going to help me out with the torque converter for my TH350. Honestly, it's just one of the big pieces I haven't had time to track down and get a hold of one. And he had one. He went manual on this one. So he's like, here, use this. I mean, again, this community is awesome. And he put the shout out today on Facebook looking for 3-inch exhaust. And I went, I just happen to have a stick of it. It's not a lot, but hopefully it's more than enough.
Oh, yeah, that'll definitely work. I just got to get a couple 45s and we're good to go.
So this will be running before too long.
Rich, how you doing, buddy?
Rich, GT350, buddy. How are you?
Rich, are you doing a no name?
Six months of work in 30 days. Yeah, that's pretty much it, JB. I mean, when we put ourselves on a timeline like this, it's not obviously, you can't really do a build like this. Some guys do it. I'm Not saying I haven't, but my oldest son, he did dirt track. He'd blow his engine on a Friday, and we could put a new engine in it by the next day and have it ready to race. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. But I feel like I'm doing something unique with mine. It's not just throwing an LS in it and throwing it down the track. It's not getting a cage. It's not getting any kind of crazy boost or rear end or any. It's a cruiser car. It will have AC at some point because it was a factory AC car. This is a race car, and he's got a cage going on. Killer shifter. If you haven't seen that yet, watch for it. It's awesome, and this engine's ready to blow up some other cars. So I will personally be rooting for this car.
You want to drive it when I'm at no?
Yeah, I mean, I would feel honored to drive it. I would probably be a little scared to drive it, but I would love to drive it.
I'll put a 2x4 under the gas pedal.
Well, first it's got a passenger seat, so I'll ride in it first. And if it, pushes my spleen into my ears, then I might not. Yeah, Irish, you started about the time that I signed up for No Name. And it was right around the end of that month that I found my Pontiac. And it truly was. It was going to be an AMC or a Pontiac. That was the two cars I picked out of 1,000+ cars that this guy had. And the AMC had a straight 6. I just told myself, I think I can do more with the Pontiac. And so which is crazy because the AMC has a completely rust-free frame and everything was there. Would have made a great Will It Run video, and it might later in life. But we got Barrows.
Auto Salvage Outlaw. What's up?
Hello, ASO. Super awesome channel. Oh my God. Jeff's in the house. I knew I'd entice you in.
So, Jeff, what do you want to run me in with my NA LS? There's no turbo on it.
He says he's racing the GTO, and I'm saying I think he'll race whatever you bring.
Yeah, but that Thunderbird's nasty. That thing is cool.
There's no doubt, but I don't know. You might have the weight advantage. We can cut some metal out. I brought the hammer.
No, we're good. Same here, Jeff. I'll race anything. I don't care. You win some, you lose some. Just lose in style and with grace.
I said it early on. I haven't done any major official call outs, and there's a reason for it. Part of it is I got nothing to prove to anybody. But anybody wants to race my Pontiac, assuming it starts and runs and gets to the line, I'll race anybody anytime. And if they leave me in their dust, I'm still going to happily cruise across that line at 22 seconds. There's no doubt. But if I break it on the first pass, oh well. I'd like to get at least one, test and tune pass. I'd like to get at least one before I take it to the Destroyer 1320 burnout contest and completely destroy it.
I'm staying away from that. I will watch. That's where stuff breaks.
And that's kind of where I was at. They're doing it that first night. And I went, well, that's pretty much where it's going to be the end of that car. It's going to break. But I have some ideas. I think Big Block 402 has some similar ideas, but it's going to be dark by the time that happens. So I have some ideas to stand out a little bit.
Yes.
Nothing too crazy. I don't even think I have posi on my rear end. I haven't taken it apart to look.
If you spin it fast enough, it will.
Okay.
They will lock.
I mean, it's a 3rd gen Trans Am rear end. Surely it's got something that'll hold up.
They did have like 120 horse 305 in it.
Yes, thank you, Bear Rose. You got a merch plug. buffsgarage.com. Get you a hat, get you a t-shirt, get you stickers. I brought some swag and stuff for Punisher here. And he's got an awesome sticker. It's in my pocket.
If anybody else wants a sticker, you can go to my page, my YouTube about, and send me an email, and I'll give you a sticker.
The sticker swap's been awesome.
Yeah, I got one from Buck, one from Dr. Art, and that's it. And now Buffs.
Yep, Dr. Art, I'm sending him one. I can tell you, if you watch my videos, I've got a wall behind my toolbox behind me. So all the videos that are shot from the back of the car, there's a wall. And if you watch in the beginning of my videos, there's nothing on that wall. And then as this has evolved, there's more and more stickers building up on that wall. I'd love to have a cool, toolbox full of stickers, but my toolbox doesn't have any flat spots. Yes, NSB. I've got some tires that I'm willing to burn up, but I might have to bring some extras.
He's going to bring a tire machine, right?
Yes. And so if you're comfortable with it, NSB, I actually grew up as a teenager and a young man working in a tire shop before I became a paramedic. It's actually a really cool story that I'm not going to tell you right now. But working in a tire shop, I got introduced to EMS. But in the meantime, I know how to change tires, from loader tires full of calcium all the way down to lawnmower tires. So if nothing else, if NSB allows it, I'll change people's tires for them. I can do it.
Same here. I worked for a tire shop. I was an off-road tire guy for
Awesome.
8 years.
I had my own truck and, sucking the calcium out. And
I hate calcium.
I hate it. But I know how to do it. And I know John's bringing some manual stuff. I have spoons and a slide hammer bead breaker. But if we got a tire machine, I'm still bringing the stuff. But, tire machine, it's going to just make short work of it. Barrows.
Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad everybody found the new link. I was worried because, we had the other link up and it didn't work. It's my first live and it didn't work. I'm going to even see if it's still there.
Barrows, yes. Beet juice. I put beet juice in tractor tires. It is better than calcium, but not by much. It's sticky, smells nasty. They say you can drink it, but I wasn't gonna.
Nope.
Wait, I think we should have a tire changing competition.
Hey, we want to do that, see how quickly we can change a set. We did it in the shop when I was, younger.
Right.
I think that's pretty awesome. NSB, will you let us do that? See how quickly we can swap out a set of tires. See if we lost anybody.
Barrows beet juice is actually a good thing. It will not rust your wheel. Actually, if you have a flat and you pump it back out, your wheel will be clean, shiny. They actually started spreading it on the roads here in Missouri in places.
We use something like that in Alaska. People always assume that the cars are all rusty in Alaska, and they actually weren't. And I think it's because of whatever it was that they used.
I thought maybe it's because they don't drive like 8 months out of the year.
Oh, no.
I thought they snowmobiled everywhere.
Snow machine.
Snow machine.
Yeah, if you get past Minnesota, it's snow machine.
Yeah.
You can't call it snowmobile. They'll be like, what's that?
Right.
And a lot of people do, but where I was at, we got 300 inches to 500 inches of snow every year. And they just knew how to move snow. So if you were going to work by 5 o'clock in the morning, you were probably going to be plowing snow with your car. But by 6:30, the roads were clear. And I say clear, they shovel the top off. They don't actually go to bare pavement. You don't see pavement till May.
I don't think I could handle that.
It wasn't that bad. But where I was at, I lived in Valdez, which is home of the Valdez spill. It's not actually where it happened. But Um, the temperature stayed in the mid 30s all winter long, and then in the summer it was 60s and 70s. So we never got the extremes that everybody else dealt with. All right, who we got? You guys are hilarious. All right, so Landon's Customs. Now, that guy, if you haven't subbed to him, Bear Rose throws link up there because not only is he talented, but he's funny. He'll even play his ukulele for you. But if he's coming with you, Bear Rose, I'll take him on. He's younger than me, so he's probably got me beat, but I'll take him on. I can change a tire pretty quick. All right, do you guys have any questions? I kind of just show up and take over his garage here, but I felt like, you guys like lives, and I've never done one.
I've never done one. Went on Bucks one time.
Yeah, I've been on one or two, but my big thing, I'm usually working on a car, but if I'm going to drive a couple hours, we're going to do something fun. And honestly, I'm not a good enough mechanic to even pretend to know this car. I'll try.
I just fake it.
You fake it pretty well. It's pretty awesome. I agree with you, Ari. Cousin Mike is just awesome. Like, you just click right from the beginning. Just like you, we all love you, Ari.
Ari, are you coming in from California?
He says he is. If not, we can fly out there and drag his butt down. Yeah, sorry we didn't do StreamYard, guys. I just haven't messed with it yet. Obviously, I couldn't get the link right to make this work, so this is take 2. But if we decide to expand this later, we can always set up a StreamYard.
I am very untech savvy.
I'm telling you, Ari, if you don't make it, we're going to call Big Mike from Hoopty Barn. We're going to get a little money. We're going to fly out there. We're going to buy a junker car, or we're going to bring your Apache, one or the other, and we're dragging your butt clear across the U.S. You're coming to No Name.
The good thing is there's a lot of Route 66 to go down.
Yes. So for those that don't know, I actually just got married in March, and we had planned a Caribbean honeymoon. Well, my wife, because she's a type 1 diabetic, was not able to get vaccinated for COVID. And because of that, the resort in Mexico said, nope. So we got denied our honeymoon. So what's better than that? We went on a Route 66 honeymoon, and it was amazing. And we put that up on our channel, The Couple Project. And I started documenting and videoing that, the wedding and the honeymoon. And then this channel took off, and then No Name Nationals happened. And so we kind of just left that channel alone for a little bit. We'll get back to it later. Oh, look, there's my wife now. Hello, honey. You guys be nice to her. And yes, we did Vegas.
Hello, Miss Buff.
Yeah. Don't tell anybody she's at work, but I'm glad she stopped in.
I never get on YouTube at work.
No. Yeah, I think we had a really fun honeymoon, wouldn't you say?
When you leave here, if you go through Galena down Route 66,
yes,
you go on 7th Street, go to Galena. It's supposedly where the idea for the movie Cars came from.
It is. And so I don't know how long you've lived here. All my life. Okay, so I grew up just across the border, southeast Kansas.
That's where I grew up, southeast Kansas.
Okay, so we're at
Mulberry.
Altamont, just south of Parsons.
Right.
So my father was one of 13 kids, and his family lived in Pittsburgh. but we came to Joplin all the time. Joplin was the big city.
Right.
And so I've traveled Galena at least once a month for my entire childhood. So Galena now, compared to Galena in the 80s, the Mater truck was there then. I remember it. It used to sit on that corner. Now it sits there and it's got the eyeballs and everything. But all that stuff was there then, and I thought it was cool then. And after cars came out, the town kind of adopted that and ran with it. But
I did a video. I don't know if you saw it.
I saw your video.
It was pretty cool.
It is.
I went over and got some parts from a buddy. He's got a Lemans too.
And if you guys didn't know, Route 66 goes through Kansas about that much. And that's it.
Right.
You got all that Oklahoma, you got Missouri, and then you got that little chunk of Kansas.
They claim it though.
Oh, every bit of it. Yeah, everybody say hi to my wife. She's working very hard, keeping us all safe.
So is she checking on you to see if you're really...
She's being supportive.
That's what I thought too.
She is the better half, JB. That is for sure.
Does she have a hammer?
I'll let her answer that. Baby, if you're listening, he wants to know if you have a hammer.
And who has the bigger hammer?
We'll see what she says. He's bona fide. That's right.
Bubba Ayers, how you doing?
Hey, Bubba. Ah, his is bigger. Okay.
Well, that's good.
Thank you, baby. I did bring it.
He did. I was concerned.
I scared him a little bit with it.
I thought my car was going to look like the Holy Goat.
I mean, I don't think I would. I think I'd be worn out. I don't think I put that many holes in.
I rode in the Holy Goat, and I was in the back seat, and the roof actually has roof vents from the bullet holes. So you got a lot of air movement in the back seat.
Somebody asked me the other day, because he did that Texas trip, and they said, I wonder how much that sucked when it rained. And I thought, well, if he's going fast enough, you won't really even notice it. But if you park somewhere, I'm sure it just pours in.
He went through the car wash.
Did he?
There's a video on his page. They drove it through the car wash.
You have to.
JD.
Was it the big one with the brushes, or just the regular
I
spray?
don't remember. I think it was the
All right, JB, get it finished. I know you'll have it done. JB's the one that inspired me to tear into the $800 minivan transmission. And yeah, I watched a lot of videos specific to that minivan, but JB's confidence in his transmission gave me the, I guess, motivation to open it up. This fully electronic 2012 transmission, and all I can say is it works. She drives it everywhere, literally drives the wheels off of it. See you guys, Perpetual.
Yep, have a good night.
Thanks for stopping in. Those guys have some awesome content, so if you aren't subbed, I'd be surprised, but go check them out. Mopars, Mustangs, minivans. How many subs are they up to? Does anybody know? I don't want to look and screw up this live. I know that they were hunting for subs. Well, I guess I can try to do it and not screw it up. Never mind. I'm going to screw it up.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. So usually you can go in there, right click, and it'll bring up their stuff. But apparently in my live, it doesn't do that. They're at 40. All right. Well, they need a lot more. So if you haven't seen them, go check them out. All right, do you guys got any questions for Punisher? If you haven't seen the car, here it is.
It was black like 2 months ago.
Yep. And he was driving it around, what, like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. But he tore it back down to do some work. I know you added some suspension stuff, and then you've been working on the turbo.
I put a drive shaft safety loop in.
That's right. I just saw that video too. I keep forgetting about that. It's not on my window list.
I just decided I better do it. I had a close call out of Mocan. Slicks, factory 10-bolt, factory drive shaft.
And it twisted it off?
Well, it broke the U-joint, but the car didn't move. So
Oh.
I've heard horror stories.
Yeah.
Of,
Running around.
yeah, so I'm not about that.
And that, you mounted it basically right south of the transmission.
Yeah, it's just like 10 inches, 12 inches behind the transmission.
Yeah. I never knew if it was supposed to go on which end. So
Some people run both.
okay. If you did one, it's going to be that one though.
Right, because the rear drive shaft, the rear U-joint breaks, the drive shaft drops down. The front U-joint breaks, drops down, the car goes pole vault. And that,
Yep.
I rolled my rock roller a few times at slow speeds, and that sucked. I don't want to do it in a car going fast.
So that's the best part of all of this community. It's not just drag racing that these guys got experience with. He's done several different things. I've done some different stuff. Drag racing is not one of the things I've done other than riding with somebody. But it's going to be interesting. It's prepping me for my 3rd gen Trans Am. So if you guys haven't seen that, it's because it wasn't really featured much on Buff's Garage channel. But we bought this 3rd gen years ago, and my whole goal for it was almost exactly what he's doing. Cage car, LS, turbo. Ed's machine is going to take that 6-liter, it's an LQ9, 10-to-1 compression, 400 horse factory Cadillac LS, and he's going to fix the spun cam bearing. We are going to put a better cam in it, and then he's going to offer some tips, tricks, and tweaks to it, and we're going to put about that size of turbo on it right there. That's, which size is that one?
78, 75.
That's what I thought. That's what we were talking about when I talked to Ed.
It's kind of the go-to turbo, sloppy mechanics.
I mean, it's like the eBay upgrade.
Right.
It's legit turbo versus just the cheapy one.
There's guys that make 800-900 horsepower with this turbo. They're doing a max effort build, though. I'm not.
Right. And really, a twin's not going to get you that much more.
No.
Single is good enough.
My car, it went 1030 with a bad converter, and then I got kicked out because I went 1030 with no roll cage and no safety belts.
So that's why the boards aren't going to be on at no name. So, you know, plausible deniability. If you happen to go outside the rules, they may or may not notice. So I've been concerned about listening to Dallas talk about the rules. I know it started with the fuel line, rubber fuel line issue, and then now we're getting into cages, seat belts, wheel studs. Yeah, I mean, I have closed-in lug nuts. You're not going to see
Me
the
too.
wheel studs.
I have the spline ones.
I'm going to show up, and hopefully they let me run. That's where I'm at. Sharpest guys on YouTube. Yep, go check out JB. He's finishing up that Blazer.
A Blazer is kind of cool.
It is. I'm ready to see the trash truck, though. Have you seen that engine he's got built? Oh, that's going to be awesome.
The one with the blower on it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know he wanted to bring that one, but, you know, 2023 is coming. So as much as I will like to do a rescue revival for No Name next year, and I may go get that AMC and do it. I think after No Name, it's going to be spending the entire time on that Trans Am. But I've also got the Avalanche I got to keep maintained. It's over 200,000 miles. The $800 minivan has 260 70-some thousand miles now. I mean, she's racking them up pretty quick. And then we've got Dawn, the F-150, that the entire front suspension is all wonky. And it didn't help that my wife hit a fence post and didn't realize it, just ran right over it.
No.
So it tweaked a little bit. And then the family truckster needs some transmission work. I got my dad's car that I inherited. It's a 74 MG. So I've got plenty of projects to keep going.
Miss Buff says 188,000.
Oh, look at that. So, yeah, she's been putting the miles on.
So I bought my wife a brand new car, so I didn't have to work on it.
Well, I'll tell you, like I told her, even the brand new ones have to get work done.
Yeah, ours has been at the dealership.
So when we were looking for a replacement for hers, we didn't expect to find anything as nice as we did. And when the guy shot us the price, I was floored because we looked it up on Blue Book and it was over $5,000. And I went, okay, we're sold. We really got lucky. Cousin Mike, how are you, buddy?
Welcome to the Buff Show.
Dakota. So my dad's MG has the chrome bumpers and the round wheel wells. It's apparently the most sought after version of the midget, which is what mine is. Dad really liked the European, British, all that kind of stuff. And I don't know what his obsession was, but he really got into them. Of course, we had Chevy trucks and cars and that kind of stuff too. But when he decided to start his career over at, 40 some years old, he went into body work. He'd been a mechanic his whole life, and he decided, I want to learn something new. So he went back to school as a full-grown adult and got into body work. I was in high school at the time, so of course I benefited from that. He brings home a Morris Minor 1000.
Those are cool.
So if you guys don't know what that is, Google it. Morris Minor 1000. And he was obsessed with pearl paint. So this car came completely junk, and he sat and restored the entire body on it. He hand-stitched the entire interior himself, and he made this car an ivory white color with red metallic pearl. It was such a complex paint job. Everybody called it pink, but it wasn't. If you saw the car just sitting there, you'd think it was a off-white car. And then the sun came out, and it was the prettiest, pinkest car you ever saw. But yeah, and ever since then, he was stuck on the British cars, the Euro cars, until he passed. And so this car had been sitting in my mom's shop until I could finally go and get it. So I don't have the video up, but I sat last summer working on it, doing a Will It Run style video, and it's kind of crude, so I will stitch it together when I do a video on it. But after 20 plus years of it sitting in my dad's shop, it had never ran, and I got it to run last summer. So not to spoil it, but when I do the video on it, I'll show that.
Hi, Spider Garage. What's up?
I just love that name.
That is cool.
I didn't not like the other name, but iSpider you guys nailed it. Mopars, Mustangs, minivans. So I won't tell you where. You have to buy a shirt to find out, but there's a cotter pin hidden here. You just got to look.
I'll have to look at it. Not on your shirt. On one gig.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there, Miss Buff.
He got some swag.
Yeah.
And honestly, guys, every single dollar either goes to pay my T-shirt bill that I already have, or it's going back into the Pontiac. So I'm not trying to tell you I need the money. We're not going to lose the shop or anything. But if you like what I do, you like the project I'm working on, you want to give us a hand, head to buffsgarage.com, check it out. I try to throw in a little something extra for everybody that buys something because I appreciate it. I'm not here to make $1 million. I'm not going to be the Cletus McFarland and sell crappy T-shirts. All of my T-shirts are individually made. They're a higher quality brand of shirt. you're basically paying a few bucks more than I paid for them. The same with the hats. This first set of hats I had made, if you buy one of my hats, by the time I pay shipping, I'm actually out money. So that's okay. If you want a hat, sign up to get one.
I had hats made for burner targets, and that was $30 a piece.
Yep. So this particular hat, again, just like the shirts, I hand-picked the brand that I wanted. This Richardson Style 112, for anyone wanting hats, this is the most sought-after version of hat right now. I thought maybe the Flex Fit or something like that would be. No, it's this exact hat. My printer wanted $21 per hat plus to do the logo. So by the time you buy a hat and shipping, it's pretty much I'm in the red. But that's okay. I've got another lady who's doing it all embroidery. She has a special machine that'll do it down low, and she's only charging me $17 plus embroidery. So I might actually get close to breaking even on that.
Don't let me forget before you leave, I'll give you one of my burner targets hats.
Oh yeah, for sure. So if you don't know, we have real jobs too. I'm a paramedic. He works for Bruner Targets. The coolest thing I saw, what was it, last week?
Yeah.
The Demolition
Ranch.
So go to Demolition Ranch if you haven't seen it. The guy does cars. The guy does guns. It's just a cool channel. Obviously, he's got tons of followers, tons of subs. Bruner Targets has actually got their, I would say, almost automated target as one of the pieces that he's testing out. And the coolest thing about this target is if you're a shooter at all, I'm barely a shooter, but I can shoot. My wife's a better shot, but I can shoot. You'll go along and you'll shoot each individual target, and it locks up in place. And then when you get all your targets, you hit the end one, and they all drop back down automatically. Coolest thing ever. Because before, if you were shooting knockdown targets, you didn't have to go set them all back up. Not with this thing. It literally locks them up in place, and then you hit that end one, and they all drop again.
It is pretty cool.
So I know a lot of car guys are gun guys too. I don't know every make of gun. I've shot a lot of different ones. I mean, for home defense, you can't really beat a 12 gauge shotgun, but there's a lot of cooler guns out there. There's a lot of, crosstalk there with guns and cars and all this. I obviously don't want to get demonetized talking about it, but what I will say is Bruner Targets makes a really cool target, and Demolition Ranch just posted about it. So that's awesome.
Unlike your job, me being busy is a good thing.
Yeah, I don't like to work.
Well, if you're busy being a paramedic, that's a bad thing.
So unintentionally, I got an extra sub last night. So I just got off a 24-hour shift, and the person that called was having a medical issue, obviously. They called an ambulance. And I get there, and I'm doing what I can to take care of him. We decided that he needed some medicine. So I pull his arm out to start an IV, and he has this RT logo on his arm. Coolest thing. I was like, man, that's an awesome tattoo. Of course, I know it's a Mopar tattoo. And he goes, oh, that's not a car tattoo. That's so when I wake up, from hungover, I'll remember which hand's right versus left. And that got us talking about cars, got us talking about Buff's Garage, and I have another sub now. So you never know when you're going to meet your sub, so be on your best behavior. Ari reloads. I didn't know that.
I didn't know they had guns out in California.
Oh, I don't think he tells anybody.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, Northern California, they can.
Well, if they come for him, he'll just lose them in a fishing.
I don't have any personally, in case you're listening.
Yeah. I literally have none registered in my name. When I lived in Alaska, I had several because Alaska is the kind of state where they want you to have guns. But moving back, you have to go through Canada, where they want you to declare every weapon. So I sold them for premium in Alaska, and then I have no guns. Now I missed one from the Mopar's Mustangs minivans. I'm going to scroll back. Ha! Yeah. So if you're watching the brake upgrade video on my channel, yes, there's still a cotter pin sitting on the fender, and I guarantee you it's still there because I have not set the what do I want to say?
Bearing preload.
No, I've got that all set. Yeah, I just blanked. Anyway, it's not completely put together because I haven't finished the airbags. So once the airbags are fully set, then the cotter pins will go in.
Yeah, because you don't want to forget a cotter pin.
No.
That could be bad.
There's too much motion going on. I don't want those things backing off. I mean, I do have red Loctite, but cotter pin works.
Cross-threaded bolts work just as well.
So on that note, for those of you that watched the 200,000 mile avalanche video where I rebuilt the rear end, never rebuilt the rear end before. I honestly barely knew what I was doing, but it seemed fairly self-explanatory. Well, those have a crush sleeve on your pinion. So you got to torque that down, and then it's supposed to set, what is that, preload, lash, whatever the name is.
Your bearing preload.
Yeah. And I over torqued it. So when I took that nut off, I realized I'd used the old nut. So my kit came with a new nut, and I went to put the new nut on, and it didn't want to go. So I took it back off, checked the old one, and it had a little bit of metal in there. And I went, uh-oh. So I tried to put it back on, and it didn't want to go either. So I finally, because it was leaking and having trouble, I got my new seal, everything set up. I finally got that new nut to turn and go. And about halfway in, before it even snugged up, it was done. It stuck. It didn't want to move at all. So I might have hit the old ugga-duggas on it, and I'm pretty sure it's cross-threaded all the, yeah.
Hey, it made it here.
And it didn't leak. So I'm pretty sure that pinion's shot, unless somebody wants to clean the threads out for me.
If you spend much time at all on sloppy mechanics, ugga-dugga it's a national torch spec now.
It is. Like Derek at Vice Grips, he's like, when you hear the tendon pop, that's how you know. And a lot of my torques growing up was that. The one thing that I actually can admit that I do, because I was a tire guy, I'll actually torque my lug nuts.
Yeah.
And then after so many miles, I'll come back and torque them again. Probably overkill, but I don't just drive them on because I'm that guy on the side of the road cussing when I can't get it back off. Yeah, boom, baby. That's the Ice Spider Garage.
Bryce Castro.
I'm pretty sure it is. Let's look. Yep. So if you don't know, Bryce is now Ice Spider Garage. So hit him up with a boom, baby.
So when you're talking about torque, when I put these Chinese head studs in my car, I got a little nervous because there's a lot of posts about them going, like from torque to untorqued if you go too far.
And aren't the LS studs the ones that kind of stretch in place?
Yes.
And so they're kind of a one-use thing.
Supposedly.
Especially if they're Chinese.
I have ran 20 pounds of boost on used studs, so I'm not real concerned about it. I have reused my head gaskets.
Ira says they're 10 ugga-duggas.
10 ugga-duggas. Now, when I'm building something like a Pontiac motor, because I have built a few, I do go by the torque specs.
Right.
To the T.
I believe, as much carnage as you guys have seen me put my Pontiac through, when I do the Trans Am, I'm going to try to be a good little mechanic and do it right. Now, we both know that's probably not going to happen, but the engine's going to Ed Machine. And if you guys haven't seen his channel, he does some amazing work. He does great videos. He's right down the road from where we're at now in Northwest Arkansas. So I'm going to run the 6.0 LS down to him, and he's going to work on it.
Henry's Hot Rod Garage says, "Old boy down the street throws sparks when he hug it dug."
All else fails, weld it.
I did that on a claimer motor on a dirt track car.
Auto salvage, is that for us? What do y'all call Coke?
Ooh.
I mean, like John DeLorean Coke or the beverage?
Well, in the town I grew up in, they might say, "Hey, give me a Coke." What kind? Dr. Pepper.
Right.
So in the Midwest, that is a legitimate question.
I've heard that as well. But so I grew up, believe it or not, it was always pop. And as I got older, I spent some time in Chicago. I have family members up that way, and they called it soda pop. And then I go to Alaska and spend almost 10 years of my life up there, and it was soda. So I guess as you work your way north, it generates towards the soda. And as you head south, it's just pop, I guess.
And when you get down south, they don't have pop. They drink sweet tea.
That's true. And it's pretty popular around here, too.
When I moved out to Phoenix, I ordered a pop at a restaurant, and they looked at me like I was nuts. So
I feel like when we did Route 66, I'd order soda. And I don't drink a lot of soda unless it's, sugar-free. But most people knew what I was talking about. But as we were like in Oklahoma in that area, they wanted to hear that word pop.
ASO, how do you live in the South and not like sweet tea? That's like against the law, I think.
So we grew up with both. My family liked sweet tea. My father's side of the family liked unsweetened tea. So there was always two pitchers in the house. I'll drink them both, but then my kidney doctor said no.
That's why I'm an outlaw.
Yeah. I get it.
I love sweet tea, but in the last year I have came up diabetic, so I no longer get to drink sweet tea.
And my wife's type 1 diabetic, so any sugar at all can wreak havoc. She found one the other day that was a sweet tea with 0 sugar. And I'm not a sweet tea fan generally, but oh my gosh, that was good. It had no sugar in it.
There's one, I can't remember what it is. It's got a light green label. It's 0 sugar sweet tea, and I drink it.
Yeah, I don't usually drink her drinks, but I pretty much drink all of them because they were good.
Now you can't mix up sweet tea and hard sweet tea. That'll be a bad mistake.
Isn't there a lemonade sweet tea?
I don't like lemon in anything.
I haven't really been able to drink lemonade since I was a kid. My grandmother would make sun tea, and she would hand squeeze lemonade, and I haven't really had either since. Appalachian sweet tea. No, but what is in it? There's no sugar, but what? I can only guess what's in it. Oh my gosh, it's Hunter, Sand Mountain Ballistics. One of my diehard Pontiac guys. It sweetens without sugar. Well, that's pretty awesome. I figured it had like moonshine in it or something.
Soak the tea bags in baking soda.
Huh.
Sand Mountain Ballistics is a Pontiac guy. Huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. So he's actually, if you guys don't know Sand Mountain Ballistics, go check him out. Hunter has been super valuable to me on the back end, the stuff that you don't see. He has a similar Pontiac, but I asked for a favor and I said, do you just happen to have any resource for schematics? Because I'll be honest, 50-year-old car, 30 years of sitting, I don't trust a lot of the wiring. This dude went out and found the schematics for that entire car and sent them to me. So you guys can thank Hunter. Again, this community's awesome. I've had a gentleman out of, I think it was Arizona. He sent me the bracket I needed for my pedal. So the 63 Pontiac pedal actually pushes into a bracket on the floor and then pivots on the floor. Well, mine was rusted through. And he went out and cut it out of his car. So I'll have to tack weld it in and sent it to me for free. I offered to, send him stuff or pay him. Nope. In fact, he hit me up the other day and asked me what parts I still need. And I said, a rear frame. I just can't pay for shipping.
Yeah, that would be quite pricey.
But he's got one. Yeah, good luck, ASO. But I gotta say, I didn't realize I was a Pontiac guy, but I own 2 of them now, so I guess I am. I'm not as cool as Ray here. His wall is nothing but Pontiac stuff.
I have been a Pontiac nut since I was little, and I watched Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, right, yeah.
The 2nd gen Trans Am and Firebird is my absolute favorite car, followed second by the GTO.
Yep. I got hooked. I mean, of course, Smokey and the Bandit was amazing. I think everybody pretty much loves that, which is a dog of a car.
Right.
But that's obviously, the icon. And then I grew up 70s and 80s, so of course Hasselhoff in Knight Rider, fell in love with that car. I actually got to sit in that car in Universal Studios. It's actually one of the real cars.
That's cool.
So I kind of like that generation as well, but it wasn't as popular, obviously. It's just now picking up speed, being popular. So that's why I ended up with a 3rd gen. I would say when I became a teenager, I always wanted a Pontiac. And I either couldn't afford it or my dad wouldn't let me. And one day, a family member brought a 78 Pontiac Trans Am, black and gold. And all they needed was the shifter cable replaced. That was it. But that thing sat in my dad's garage for over a month, and he just didn't have time to do it. So I got the wild hair one day, and I went out and figured out how to fix that shift cable. And I may or may not have took it on about a 3 or 4 hour joyride. It had 400 in it, and it was amazing. I was hooked from that point on. And then I went back to the garage, unhooked the cable like it was never hooked back up. He never knew until much later in life when I admitted that I did it. Because I was pretty sure something wasn't right, but I pretty much loved Pontiacs from that point on. Even owned a Fiero.
I like Fieros.
It's like getting in a smart car, but they're zippy. Even the 4-cylinder.
I went to an all Pontiac show in Kansas City. That's where I met Dalton the first time. And they had all sorts of Fieros, a Fiero club there. And one of them had an LS4 in it.
Wow.
Out of a front wheel drive Pontiac Grand Prix.
Yep.
Or the Monte Carlo. They had
the 5.3 sideways.
Yeah, they had it stuffed in a Fiero with a turbo on it.
Yeah. How they kept it on the ground, I wouldn't even know.
Harry says you love Hasselhoff himself.
What?
Fall in love with Hasselhoff more likely.
I mean, I don't know German, but I was probably more into Lee Majors and Fall Guy.
Fall Guy was really cool.
Not a Pontiac, but Fall Guy was awesome. And of course, seeing that truck launch was pretty incredible. Airwolf, that's
Airwolf.
not car related at all, but that was cool.
Hardcastle and McCormick.
Yep. I mean,
which is actually a kit car. I didn't know when I was a kid.
I was so disappointed to find out how many of those iconic movie cars were fake.
Yes.
Like, it's really disappointing when you find out.
I actually worked on the. Did you ever watch that movie? Let's see, it had Mel Gibson in it. He had that big jacked up van.
Yes. So that was him and Sylvester Stallone.
Yes, I can't remember the name of it.
Was it Mel Gibson? No.
No, it wasn't Mel Gibson.
It was Kurt Russell.
Yes. I can't remember
And
the name of that movie.
somebody help us out. Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone, they're good cop, bad cop, and they end up in this. It was a suburban van thing, right?
It's a hack. Tango and Cash. Yes.
Tango and Cash.
Thank you, Bear Rose. That thing, I was so disappointed to actually work on that thing.
It had to be a piece of crap.
Hollywood hacks cars so bad.
So I watch a guy on YouTube called Video Bob, and he actually builds replica movie cars better than the actual movie cars. And his idea is these people actually want to drive these cars for real, so he builds them higher quality than the movie did. Well, he got to see the new Ghostbusters car, the one that they used in the new movie, the third, fourth, whichever version you want to call it. It is a hacked up piece of crap, and they literally just dropped an LS in it, open exhaust, and called it good. Like, it's literally hacked together.
Starsky and Hutch did have a cool car.
True.
But they also didn't hack up cars then. They used actual cars.
True.
Now, Dukes of Hazzard, I have seen where they take a shot and you don't see the other side of the car because it's all smashed up.
So Knight Rider did the same. The only reason why Knight Rider stayed successful was because of the amount of cars they had access to. And it was in 83 or 84, GM had a train derailment, and they were not allowed to sell any of those brand new Camaros and Trans Ams. So Universal Studio bought them all. And that's how they had so many Pontiacs and even Camaros to destroy for that show. But just like Dukes of Hazzard, you think back at how many of those cars no longer exist.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. But
They were literally buying cars from people off the street because they couldn't get enough of them.
would the 70 Challenger or Charger be as iconic today if it wasn't for the Dukes of Hazzard?
Not at all. Smokey and the Bandit. It was a dog of a car.
Right.
But it sure turned out awesome. That's right, ASO. So at least for Knight Rider, I think 3 cars survived out of all of those cars. And there's pictures of every one of those Trans Ams being destroyed. Every one of them. It's crazy. Even, I want to say even the George Barris one was destroyed. But there's only like 3 of those left.
If you have ever seen any George Barris cars, there's actually a museum right here in Oklahoma, or just across the way in Oklahoma, that has a whole bunch of George Barris cars.
Really?
And I've actually seen the Monkey Machine and
that's awesome.
the car from what is it? The coffin car from dang it, I can't think of the name of that show. Anyway, I have at the Munsters.
Oh, yeah.
I have actually seen the Munster Mobile too, and his quality of work is good.
Yeah, he's legit.
It's not hacked up stuff. He was a hell of a fabricator.
ASO had a Dukes of Hazzard car.
If he still had it, he could retire.
Yeah. So the question, Bear Rose, is have you ever found a checker? That Video Bob guy just bought one.
There's one running around town here.
A checker cab?
Yeah, guy has
Wow.
a checker cab.
Yeah, those are really cool because they pretty much stayed the same design the entire run.
I don't know much about them. I don't even know what.
It was just its own thing. They people say it's inspired by this or it's inspired by that. It's its own thing, but it had that iconic design, and they just kept it the whole run.
What drivetrain was in them?
That I don't know. Maybe
You know what drivetrain the checker cabs ran? I didn't know if it was like AMC where they used everything.
I have no idea. I know my mail truck that shows up every day has an Iron Duke in it, 2.5 liter 4-cylinder.
They're based on the S10 chassis.
But the Fiero ran it for a while too. We're kind of getting off Pontiac, but trying to stay relative.
GM.
Yeah. Barrow's Bullet. See, we got us on movie cars now. We're so far kind of off the mark, but
That's what happens when you talk to me.
I'm a movie guy. I love movies.
I just like cars, and it sucks being a car guy and watching movies, or a gun guy or whatever and watching movies. My wife's the same way with medical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She cannot watch movies where they're off. She's like, no, that's not right. I'm like, you ruined it for me.
I was a full-time, I'd say, high-speed, low-drag paramedic at the height of the TV show ER. I couldn't watch it. I mean, it was so frustrating to me.
Barrow says Chevy if he remembers right.
AM General. Yeah, that's kind of how it works out. But whatever's cheap in there.
I don't know if you said you had an AMC.
No, I was going to pick up an AMC.
AMC's in the 70s, and they are a bastard of a bunch of different vehicles, like
Yeah.
GM, tilt column, Mopar, Pars, Ford, everything.
Red Dawn. Yep, that's a good movie. Hello, Mark Reynolds. Haven't seen you on here before, but welcome.
Howdy.
We're talking Pontiacs, movie cars, pretty much whatever you want to ask. Throw it in the chat. We've got a beautiful Pontiac Lemans.
It is
Ask lots of questions.
something.
And it's my first live, so I hope it's doing okay. What I don't know is how many's in the chat. Oh, here it is. 15 in the chat. That's awesome. That's so much better than I expected. Nathan's Mopar.
What's up, Nathan's Mopar?
He's the guy he's like, to me, he's the orange sticker on the wall for John Wilburn. When Nathan comments, he's like, hey, just get it done. And so thank you, Nathan, for always motivating me to just get it done.
Here's the thing. If I would have never signed up for the No Name Nationals, my car wouldn't have got done. I had no motivation to work on it. It was just sitting here collecting dust because I had blown the motor up last time I was at the track. So,
Oh, that's that one?
yeah,
In the
that's
corner?
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He showed me the carnage from the other one. So this one, I think you'll get a pass or two before it blows.
I hope so. If I have to build it again, my wife may kill me.
Get some T-shirts. Tell her you're offsetting the cost. That's what I do. So far, we haven't offset cost. So go buy a shirt, go buy a hat, help me pay for the car.
It's a really cool shirt, though.
Yeah. Like I said, I went through and I actually had to get her approval as well. And we handpicked the material, handpicked the color. And of course, we interviewed the guys making the shirts. And I can tell you, they were not pressed out on a quick, fast machine. They hand did every single shirt. And there is a hidden cotter pin in the shirt.
Irish, I think everybody knows you're a Pontiac.
He's got a running driving. So Artemis is driving. I saw the wheels turning. I haven't seen it on the road. So are you holding out, Jay? You're not going to let us see that?
That is one cool car. I cannot wait to see this thing.
It's amazing. It's heavy as all get out, but he's got those lightweight floors in there now.
I've seen that. I watched that video. Believe it or not, I do actually watch the videos of people I'm subscribed to. I can't say I watch every video.
No, there's too many. I think No Name National's got me, so many people I'm following that you can't keep up.
I follow everybody on the No Name Nationals list.
Yep, me too.
There's a few at the very bottom that I've subscribed to, but they've never posted any new videos. But
if someone was looking for subs, I subbed them.
Yeah, same.
I got our other channel, The Couple Project. So like when JB was hunting for subs, or Irish was hunting for subs, even my wife is subbed to these guys because we wanted to make sure we got them over that mark. I know that I'm subbed on all my channels for you because we wanted to get you there too. But
I kind of went from 500 to almost 650 now.
Yeah, and you just went like that.
I had a little help from Dalton.
Right. And that's what I want to say is for all those guys that are already there now, we've been pushing and rooting for everyone that was under the 500 mark, and we still are. If you have less than 500 subs, put it up on the chat, and one of my mods will put your link up there. But I mentioned it to Ray earlier. So I feel like that hunt for subs for me and for so many of you guys was like the space shuttle trying to take off. You're giving it maximum effort and you're giving it the most power you can to get yourself up to that 500 mark. And you are literally fighting gravity with every ounce of energy to get up there. But then once you hit that mark, you're now in space and it takes nothing. And before you know it, like Buck, you're now over 1,000 subs. Barrow, same way. Two Hacks, Irish, everybody went from 500 and just skyrocketed afterwards without even having to really try. It just happened. And I felt like that was the best analogy. You're just trying to push yourself into space and then boom, you're there. And it just takes off from there. You guys can have 25,000 or even 100,000 subs by the end of the year if you just keep putting out good content.
I passed Buck, and then the next day I looked, and he was like 1,500.
Yeah.
What happened?
And, well, we all saw Dudes with Wrenches, right? He is the Cinderella story. And as I understand, he's not even coming to No Name, but he's been a part of this community. And he was sitting at like 700 subs on 4th of July. And by the end of July, had 20,000 subs. And I think I checked him this morning. He's got 53,000 subs. And he's figured out that the shorts are awesome. We all love it. Dudes with Wrenches. But now he's realizing, wait, I'm not getting paid for these. So he's starting to do longer form videos. You're seeing the 6, 8, 15-minute videos out of it. And they're good too. So check him out. I'd love to see him come to No Name.
DRC Racing, welcome.
Yeah, DRC's got the safety videos out for those that have never drag raced. Go check out his videos. He'll give you some good tips on what we should be doing. And we've talked about it a little bit, how some of us probably won't pass tech. But he'll tell you what you should be doing. And maybe by next year we'll get our act together.
You just need oven cleaner or fabrication.
Right.
He got like 40,000 views for painting some piece of plastic for his seats. If I did that, nobody would watch.
Well, Jay, tell me how many you got. How many views did you get by drilling a hole in your floorboard? Because I got to tell you, that's one of my favorite videos of you having the water leaking into the ambulance and then you just drilled a hole in it. Because if that didn't get a bunch of views, nothing will. But then he banged on the oil pan. That got a bunch of feedback. Yeah, oven cleaner works. I've done it 3 times now.
Well, I wish I'd have known that when I was cleaning my car, but now everything's cleaned and painted.
You got a whole other engine over
I
there.
know, I'm going to have to do it.
Oven cleaner it, do it as a short, another 100 subs. I'm trying to think of what other one. I had another one take off, and I don't remember what it was now. Sometimes the dumbest ones are the better ones, because if they make absolutely no sense as to why they're getting views and subs, it seems like those are the ones that take off. The heartfelt ones, the ones that are actually you made a lot of effort on and you put a little time in editing, 10, 20, 40, maybe even 100 views. And then you got something stupid you posted about oven cleaner, or for me, hitting something with a hammer,
Iris says
20,000 views.
170,000 views on the oil pan.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yep. People like the stuff that seems dumb, and I know Jay might have orchestrated that to make it happen, but it was brilliant. The guy knows what he's doing. He's got great content, awesome cars, pretty good personality, I think. I can't wait to hang out with him.
DRC, an AAR Trans Am, and a Duster. I love the 70s AAR cars.
Yep.
And you guys will get to see this soon enough.
Yeah, that sounds like a hint.
Maybe.
Yeah, DRC, you got some cool stuff, there's no doubt. We all aspire to be that awesome.
Nathan's Mopar, I'm a welder by trade, and welding in the rain, I'm not going to do for subs.
I don't know who I told that story to, but believe it or not, after I was a high school graduate, a buddy of mine talked me into a construction job. And he was part of a steel crew that just put the frames up on big buildings. And he was a wrench guy. So he actually took the bolts and the nut and he would put them in. Well, they didn't need any more of that. They wanted a welder. And the only welding I'd ever done is farm welding. Like I would make the pig troughs and stuff. So I could weld, but it wasn't great. So they put me through a 2-day course on how to weld. And I mentioned the other day on another live, I built a Hutchinson Community College student union in Hutchinson, Kansas. And I looked that day that I was talking about it. It's still standing.
That's good.
So I welded every single crossbeam in that building. So I can lay an arc weld bead. I can stack some dimes. They're not great. But until this Pontiac of mine, I had not arc welded in 25, 30 years. So it'd been a while. It was not 30, 25 years. But I don't know, it'll hold.
I did a lot of TIG welding earlier. That's what my eyes hurt. If everybody keeps seeing me blinking, it's because my eyes are hurting, because I have my old man eyes. I can't see very good, so I have to turn my darkness down on my hood. So now
Did you ever wear sunglasses when you weld? I ended up doing that when I was working on that student union. I'd actually wear, because we didn't have auto darkening helmets.
Right.
So I was wearing sunglasses with the helmet that they gave me. And then, of course, talking about rain, I'm just a kid. I've got crappy jeans with holes in them. And I got myself wrapped around a girder 60, 80 feet up, and it's pouring rain on me. And I might have got bit once or twice through the jeans.
Well, my TIG welder shocks me when I'm welding aluminum and sweat. If you ever TIG welded?
No.
So when you're TIG welding aluminum, and don't do it on stainless or mild steel, it's just aluminum.
Right.
It will shock the pee out of you if you're sweating. Yes.
So early on in No Name, people were talking about bringing welders in, which is really actually kind of handy, because if you break something, it'd be nice to have a welder. If anyone's bringing a TIG welder, I will be the first one to sign up to learn how to TIG weld. And I know that's not what No Name event is about, but if we're standing around and there's a TIG welder, I want to learn it. I know it's a different technique than arc and MIG. But that's my big purchase in the future is I'm going to buy myself a TIG welder.
I don't have it here, but my buddy's bringing me his. He bought one and never used it. So
Oh my
he's
gosh.
like, man, I'm going to bring you this welder. I weld all this stuff for him anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Might as well park it in here and
Right.
Get use out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, DRC, we were actually just talking about that. So I think most of us have a certain political alignment. I think you'd be surprised how many people aren't hard and fast one way or the other. But sometimes when people talk about that stuff, those controversial topics that you're not supposed to talk about, it affects your channel. Sometimes it grows tremendously and sometimes it fizzles out. So I try to avoid it on my channel simply because the best of me does not come out when I talk about politics.
Same.
I lived in Alaska where they were anti-government completely. There was no taxes, no income tax, no sales tax, no vehicle. You guys paid taxes to keep your cars on the road. They didn't do that in Alaska. You buy your tag for $110 and you never go back there unless you buy a new car. Outlaw Garage popcorn. What? Aha. Metal popcorn. I know what that looks like.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever had slag land in your ear.
I did just have that last week.
That's kind of terrifying.
I was laying down on the creeper, welding the frame, and I've got the helmet on, I've got the hat, and my beard ends up, getting some of that. But I'm upside down like this, and all of a sudden, it goes right into my ear. I was like, wow! You got, sleeves and gloves, and yeah.
So you're not worried about getting tetanus at that point.
No.
You're worried about losing hearing.
Self-cauterized. It was good to go. It hurt like crazy, though.
So did you get a tetanus shot when you started working on the Pontiac?
Weekly. So, funny enough, living in Alaska, there is no tetanus. It doesn't survive. It's kind of like mosquitoes. There's no disease. There's no snakes. There's no frogs. It's a whole different world up there. But they don't give out tetanus shots because tetanus doesn't exist up there. So when I came back to the States, the lower 48, the first time I got hurt, I didn't even think about it. And then somebody reminded me, hey, you should probably get a tetanus shot. I was like, tetanus shot? Oh, that's right. Yeah. So ever since I got the Grand Prix, I pretty much go in for weekly tetanus shots just to make sure. I'd rather get 10 shots than have tetanus.
Sand Mountain. I sell targets for a living, and I shoot guns. That's all I need to say.
I mean, Alec Baldwin shot a gun. We're not going there.
If anybody else did that, I'm just saying.
Yeah, if you guys want to learn some drag racing info, head on over to DRC's place. Barrow's got the link up in chat. Thank you, Barrows.
I can teach you what not to do.
I'm guessing we're going to see a lot of that at No Name Nationals. I think John was talking about it. There's people that aren't even going to be able to do burnouts or stage, or because most of the time we're going to have that tree where you hit your first one and then your second one, right? I don't know. I know it's not the one that instant green.
10-5, from what I understand, the 10-5 shootout, which I'm going to do, is instant green.
Oh,
it's like flashlight racing.
So if you guys haven't, if you really want to see some cool racing, you got to check out that 10-5 tire. Was it 28-10-5?
28-10-5.
28-10-5. And I know you had about half the slots left last week. It's a $100 buy-in, $1,500 payout for first, and $500 for second. I think.
so.
Yeah. So awesome racing, instant tree. I mean, it's going to be cool. To think that we're going to go and not see some good racing is absolutely not true. You're going to see some really bad racing because I'm going, but you're going to see some really good racing too.
I like the instant green because
it's realistic.
I've only street raced in Mexico. Never done it on public streets. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, only in Mexico.
But that's what it makes me think of. So.
Yeah. And I look at it as you're going to see the real racers come out for that one. Because nothing against bracket racing, but anytime you can take a 4-cylinder Toyota and beat out, an 800 horsepower car simply because your bracket time's good, that's fine. I'm not against bracket racing, but watching guys just rip down the track and literally beat the other guy and win, that's cool stuff.
Destroyer 1320's in the house.
Oh my God. Thanks for coming, Eric.
We have a legend.
The sponsor of the Destroyer 1320 Burnout Contest. And it's going to be awesome.
I guess I could take my Yukon, unhook my trailer, and take the Yukon out, do the burnout.
Right. Are you driving this or are you going to trailer?
I'm trailering it because I'm going to break it.
Yeah. So I'll be honest. I just don't think I'm going to be able to tag mine in time. So I'm going to trailer it. I'm meeting up with Dalton, Pole Barn Garage, and we're going to go that way to go down to Sykeston. And he's driving the Holy Goat, is what he told me. And he's bringing his son's car. What is that, the Ford? You worked on it.
Yeah, that car's cool.
Yep. So,
that's a nice car. Actually.
Yeah. Tractor paint. But let me tell you, it's pretty. Yeah, so I'm bringing the trailer just because something might break.
Well, here's the thing. I'm taking my wife.
Comfort.
And she is not going to ride in this thing.
Comfort.
2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, you got headphones, right?
Right.
Now, if you're going to bring him, it's kind of like I was considering sleeping in the truck, and my wife wanted to come, so we got a hotel room.
Yeah, my wife, as soon as I passed the 500 mark, she got the hotel room.
Yep. You guys still found one then?
Yeah.
Wow. And I knew they were closing up.
Yeah, there isn't hardly any left. I wish I was going down Thursday night so I could do the cruise to the what is that place? Lambert's,
yeah. So Dalton and I are leaving Thursday morning. So it's about an hour and a half commute to Dalton from my house, and then the remainder of the trip down to Sykeston. So we'll get there sometime mid-afternoon on Thursday, and then it's a work day for those that just show up. And then, of course, we're all going to Lambert's that evening. 200 plus people is what they're guessing. So I want to address Hunter Sand Mountain Ballistics. Yes. So I've been watching Derek for a couple of years now. In fact, Destroyer, Eric, he was around back when I just did the couple project. Derek was just starting out, literally, I think he said it on his post today, but with a phone taped to the wall in his garage. I think it was in Minnesota.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. So I remember those videos. I remember when he would come into other people's lives and talk to you one-on-one. But if you haven't heard, he now landed a Motor Trend show. He's got his own vice grip style show on Motor Trend. And I can't be happier for the guy. He is not a sellout. He is doing exactly what he said he's going to do. But he's getting paid a lot more money to do it. And I think anyone in this YouTube world, if they really wanted to make it go at it like he is, that's all you can hope for. You want to support the guy.
I mean, he got to go do the Freedom 500 race with Cletus.
Yep.
So
that was probably when I realized he turned that corner. So he was, of course, tons of subs. But when Cletus picked him up, and when David Freiberger posted about his one grit when he was sanding the S10, that's when he flipped. That's when he changed right there. Still an awesome dude. He's exactly who you think he is.
I'm not going to lie. I watched some of his Freedom Chevelle video roll cage install when I got ready to do mine.
Yep. and he still tries to do it with a budget. He's got a lot more resources now. But let's see. Colleen Tebow. Yeah, I enjoy the bad racing too. I don't want to see anyone have an accident or wreck. Obviously, it's the human in me. I don't want to see anybody hurt. I'm not going to No Name to see the crash, but somebody breaks down, that'll make for fun, content.
Just don't be the first guy to oil down the track.
If you're not afraid of that, then you're not taking this seriously. I'm being honest. I'm pretty concerned about it. DRC made a comment about getting a diaper. If I sell enough hats by then, I will be getting a diaper. Otherwise, I will probably be really, really scared about going out there. Like, I'm worried about it.
I need to do that. I mean, my car's been close to 9s.
Yep.
And at that's not super fast. I mean, for a street car, I suppose it is, but I don't want to oil down my rear tires at that kind of
or
power.
Shut down the track while they clean it up. Yeah, Hunter. So he's still going to be doing the free content on YouTube. He, like anybody that's got over 1,000 subs, you can have memberships. You can, do super chats. You can do all of that. I thankfully have all that now, and I do have a few, a little bit of money coming in, but it is what it is. I look forward to seeing everybody succeed in their YouTube ventures, and obviously sponsorships and future endorsements are where it's at. And yes, Destroyer got his Tappy Tap shirt and made an awesome video about it, so I appreciate it.
Well, I'll make a video later.
Thank you.
I might put on my Punisher boxers under my pants. I am a huge Punisher fan. Just so everybody knows.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the hood, go back to his videos and check him out. He's got this awesome Punisher thing on his hood. It's very sinister, I'm going to tell you.
So my son drew that. I don't know if you watched that video.
I did.
When my son was 12, he sketched it on a pad, and I said, I want you to draw that on the hood of my car. So he did that with a Sharpie. He freehanded that with a Sharpie.
It's pretty amazing.
He is a very talented kid.
Well, and didn't you say he had a family member do the sticker too?
Yeah, my daughter-in-law. So my daughter-in-law, she's an artist.
His Punisher sticker.
She did my stickers for me. So that's really cool. And my son, he helps me. He's a car guy. I had his Corvette on one of my videos. He has a really nice.
I saw that
Corvette. He's gotten into cars over the years. All my kids are into cars. Even my daughter, she wants a big jacked up truck, which that scares me.
Fastest street cars in the country, and then drives a race car out of the closed trailer. Yep, Eric, we do have the best car community on YouTube. There's no doubt about it. That's not to disrespect anybody else, but I've never seen the kind of support out of a group of YouTubers as I have here.
Me neither. When I first started coming into the chats, it was amazing how people just
do that.
That is awesome. It's amazing how people, like, even if they're not in the No Name, Buck will put up their thing, their link, and say, "Hey, subscribe to him."
Yep.
I mean, I wasn't in the No Name yet, and he was helping me.
So thank you, Bear Rose, for the super chat. I mean, I obviously not asking for it, but I appreciate it. It's going to go right back into the channel and into the cars. I wouldn't know what to do if I made any real money at this. It's never been about that for me. First and foremost, I like cars. Secondly, I think it's fun to make the videos. I actually am the guy that likes to over edit right now. That's probably going to change soon. But after meeting all the no-name folks, I couldn't imagine doing anything different. This is where I want to spend my time from now on.
I've had people ask me, "Are you going to stop doing your YouTube content now that you've done the 5?" I'm like,
No.
I'm going to be building cars. I got a C10 I'm building with my dad, and I mean, I might as well video it. I'm doing it. Maybe I can help somebody out with a tip somewhere.
Yeah. So I was putting out basically Shade Tree Mechanic content. That was most of what I was doing with this idea of I've got a big build coming, a long term, which is the Trans Am I'm working on. But the tips and tricks working on the Avi, I fixed a leak issue that turned out it's a pretty major issue with the GMT 800 platform. People are always talking about these trucks leaking into the cab, and they think it's the windshield, or they think it's the door seal, or even the back window, which makes no sense because the leak's always up there on the floor. But I found it was actually coming in right underneath this hood area, and there's a little plastic panel that you can't see. But you get in there and pull it up, and the seal rots out. And so that one has gotten a ton of views. And I fixed the Lincoln. It had the power window that wasn't working, and we got that fixed. So I was doing content, but nothing like this. This no-name stuff is next level.
I need to fix my Yukon with the AC leaking in my floorboard.
And it is the AC, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what everybody thought mine was. Oh my God, Eric. You know better than that, buddy. But
yeah.
Thank you.
Now you got to change the tires for him.
He's bringing a rental. But I'll change your rental tires, Eric, when we get there. NSB's bringing a tire machine. I'll hook you up with a new set of tires.
So he's running the rental, right?
I don't know. Eric, are you running the rental down the track?
You got to run the rental. I would.
Yep, let's run the rental.
I'll race anything. I don't know if you've seen my video in the little 3-cylinder Mitsubishi 0 to 60.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost ran out of space on my card.
Oh, see? It goes in the Marine Buddy's name. That's fine. I call shotgun. We're going to run it down the track.
It has to.
Put it in a burnout contest. I mean, Dakota's not wrong. We put some bald tires on there. Are they really going to know?
Right.
It's wear and tear. You drove it a lot. Just maybe don't tag Avis Rental in the video.
Be like the guys that swapped the motor out of the U-Haul truck into theirs.
Yeah. I actually thought that was a brilliant idea, and then I found out later it doesn't really work that way.
Right.
But what is it, $19.99 for a day rental, and you can swap out less.
I'd end up spending more money than that because I get frustrated. It takes me a lot longer than that to swap it out.
Yeah, so Destroyer 1320 makes a good point. I actually wanted to go to Hot Rod Power Tour. Let's see, I've been here since 2017. So probably like back in 2015. Hot Rod Power Tour, somewhere around 2014, 2015, they were going to start in Texas. So I was going to fly down from Alaska and buy the biggest beater I could find for as cheap as I could, do a revival on it, and then drive the whole long haul Hot Rod Power Tour with it. And that was my whole plan. And then I can't remember what happened, but something fell through it, and I didn't end up getting to do it. But showing up and building a beater at No Name National would be awesome. And I know we talked about just briefly doing a potluck where everybody brings a part and we build a car at No Name. If we don't pull it off this year, it definitely has to happen for 2023.
As you can see, I have a lot of extra parts on ground.
I can tell you that if I need a part, I'm coming here. I mean, I'd go all the way to see Barrows because I know he's got plenty of parts, but this guy's closer.
Dalton's the same way.
Dalton's got parts, like parts. Oh, I'm going to be there, so I'll go check out his place too. I've got my whole side yard Willow Run, but if I stack up too many parts, then the city comes knocking and saying, hey, you got to clean up your garbage. They already do.
So didn't Freiburger do a thing where they swap people cars on the power tour or something like that?
Yeah, so they would buy a beater and get it running, put some money into it, and then they would trade up along the way, and then they'd end up giving away the car at the end.
They gave it to a little teenage girl, I think.
Yeah, so
it was a Firebird, wasn't it?
Is that what they ended up with?
Yeah, it was a 2-port 350 third gen.
They just kept trading up, and I think that's an awesome thing. So the biggest part of this car community is not who has the biggest, baddest car, who has the best ET. I mean, yeah, that's important, especially if you're doing it for money. But it's keeping the culture alive, keeping people interested, giving back. Like, I'm here swapping parts, and I can tell you right now, I'm getting a lot more than what I'm giving. But I'm going to keep paying that forward too. So anywhere I can help, I'm going to be there to help.
I've had people, the car community is awesome, like in general. There is some bad apples, but man, I've had people send me parts, and I've sent people parts from people I don't know.
Yeah.
People just out of Facebook groups or whatever. Like you post, hey, I'm looking for this. I had a guy send me a B&M shifter because I was looking for one. So, I mean, and I do the same thing. If somebody's looking for something, I'll send it to them. Hey, you pay the shipping costs and it's yours.
Well, I've had subs do that for me. Is they're like, hey, what do you need? And I mentioned something. And next thing I know, it's coming in a box that I didn't even expect. So it's an awesome community, and it's all about keeping it going because with the way the world is trending, and I'm not going to get Eric started on the electric Dodge, but
no, Jesus.
The way the world's trending and the way the politics have gotten involved, we're part of a dying breed. And the only way to keep us going is to keep that new generation seeing what we see. And if we can keep them involved, it's a small price to pay to do it. I mean, I've got my kids, my stepson, we're all out there wrenching in the garage. My daughter didn't mind getting dirty, but she wanted to make it pretty. She likes the pretty chrome. So I put her to work with a buffer on the chrome. And somebody tried to criticize her polish job on one of the videos. And I went, you know what? My 11-year-old is out there polishing a car. I don't give a crap if it's perfect. I don't care if it's scratched. I mean, it's been sitting for 30 years. She's showed interest in coming out there, spending time with Dad, and working on the car. She brags to all of her school friends that she's on YouTube. So that's more important to me than how perfect the finish is.
Dudes with wrenches.
Oh my gosh.
What's up? Did I do it right?
I think you did pretty awesome. Dudes, we just talked about you earlier. You are the Cinderella success story. We love you. Your content's amazing. If you haven't subbed him, why? Like 50,000 people are subbing him. Sub him. Go watch his stuff.
I feel pretty special that he stopped by to see us.
I mean, the only thing we haven't had is a bot, but I have enough moderators that maybe we're not seeing it.
Should have said that. Those are so annoying.
I know. Celebrities abound. We got so many awesome channels in here right now. So thank you all for showing up. I mean, we've been going 2 hours now. What do you guys want to talk about? We came here to talk about Pontiacs, and we have. I drove all this way just to touch the car that I've been watching for several months.
Man, I'm gonna have to hit that with a tack.
I know. Every time I touch it, I think that's bare metal. I shouldn't be touching it, but
It's cool. I gotta sand it some more.
I feel bad about it.
I don't know who likes doing body work, but it sucks. You said your dad did it.
Well, so my dad was a mechanic, and halfway through his adult life, he decided, I'm going back to college, and he did, and he went back and got a degree. An otherwise uneducated man, he went back and got a college degree with a actual certificate showing that he is now certified in bodywork. So proud of it. Like, I remember when he changed his answering machine message about it. And he did that for about 6 months after that. And then he went right back to mechanic work. He said bodywork sucks.
It does.
And I think it's one thing when you do it because you enjoy it, you want to do it right, and you're not constantly churning cars out. But when you have to do it for a job, I don't think it would be as fun.
Well, I've said it on my videos like 5 times. I hate body work. I'm not doing it anymore, and then I do it. Dudes with wrenches. Mine is a 77 Trans Am. I don't want to be that guy. But my second favorite car is the Orbit Orange GTO off of Dazed and Confused.
Yes. All right. Oh, my favorite Pontiac. So, I'm trying to remember. Is this 66?
It's a 66 or 67.
Right. So, I was the guy that saw Triple X and got hooked on that GTO. But that's not where my love of Pontiacs came from. It, of course, came from Smokey and the Bandit, 3rd Gen Trans Am from Knight Rider, pretty much every Pontiac after that. I was sold on Pontiac when I realized that the newer ones had light-up red gauges. Camaros didn't. They had just their standard white light that showed through, or maybe even orange. But Pontiac always had the red. And I fell in love with that. And the whole we build excitement, I loved that. And I guess it all stems back from John DeLorean taking an otherwise grandma cruiser type of car and building it into an iconic generation of muscle car. And even my 63 Grand Prix, as big as it is, you can see that inspiration in my car, which then later became something more like this.
The 64 GTO is a pretty amazing car. The 389 Tri-Power 4-speed, they were still smallish, and then they got big.
And wasn't that because they had to keep so much engine per vehicle weight kind of thing?
Yeah, it's something like that, something weird.
I know he was trying to work outside of the box and get some things snuck through. Oh, that's what the GTO was. So he made the GTO a badge package with all those upgrades, but it wasn't technically its own car.
Right.
And that's how he snuck it past. But,
ASO's trying to be your bot there, Buff.
oh, thanks, ASO. Be careful. These guys might knock you out. 62 Bonneville. All right. Super Duty. I love it. Obviously, with my 63 Grand Prix, there's a lot of, crossover similarity. But that 421 Super Duty, I'm told, could have been in mine. It's not what was in it. I had the 389, I think, is what was supposed to be in mine. Because I had 389 automatic air conditioning.
See, that's rare. Air conditioning in 1963.
And it's what's left of it's all there, but there's not much left. I still have the AC compressor.
Dakota, you and me both
Yeah.
See, I've evolved over the years because my favorite second gen used to be the 77, 78,
Yep.
but now I really want a 70 to 73, either white and blue or blue and white Super Duty Trans Am. I'll never own one because I'd have to sell my house,
Right.
but that's my favorite. I always like the split bumper Camaro too. So
I did too. So here's a question. What was your first car?
My first car was a 62 short bed Chevy pickup with a 283 power pack heads and power glide and 410 gears. My dad thought that was a great idea for my first vehicle.
All right. So my first also was something my dad saw on his way to work one day. 68 Chevrolet Chevelle Malibu hardtop. It had an original 307, but by the time I found it, it was sitting in a field with a 350 700 R4 in it. No, it was a TH350 that was in it. And my dad thought that was a good idea. 6 months of that car, I paid $600 for that car, and I rode a bicycle from the time I was 12 years old until I was 14, delivering papers every single day. And I saved up $800. I paid $600 for the car and $200 to the gentleman who lived behind me. His name is Perry House, and he has a tire shop. And I bought 4 bulb tires and a battery for it for $200. And I drove the crap out of that car. I saw it hit over 100 with no front shocks really at all. And my dad found out about that. I don't know how. I'm sure I got ratted out. And he promptly sold the car. He says, my name's on the title. I'm selling the car. So that kind of ended my muscle car era. And I ended up graduating to a 85 S10, similar to JB's Blazer. And he finally relented and took the Iron Duke out, and we put a Camaro 305 in it. So that was fun.
Now, my second vehicle was a 78 Mustang Ghia.
Okay.
Mustang 2.
Yep.
Blue with a tan stripe and tan interior. The ugliest Mustang ever.
And what was the idea there?
I didn't get in trouble with it.
See, I think that's what Dad was going for with the 4-cylinder S10. But I just happened to have a cousin who had a cutting torch, and we took that stock height S10, and it literally scraped the shackle hangers everywhere.
Yeah, I had an 87 in high school. I lowered it.
Yep.
Jason's Garage, welcome.
Hey, Jason. Here's what I'll say about that 68. So I still have the VIN from 1991 when I owned the car. And I looked it up. And it just went through, what's the auction house out of is it Arizona, Nevada?
Barrett-Jackson?
That one. So it went through Barrett-Jackson about 2 years ago. And it went through Barrett-Jackson the year before. And so the first year it sold at Barrett-Jackson, my exact car, my VIN, everything, it sold for $18,000. And I checked it last year, and it sold for $38,000. So I'll never get my $600 car back, but I'd have to sell your house and my house, and then maybe have enough left over.
GM A-bodies have gotten really popular.
Oh, Hunter's saying, don't call out the Mustang 2s.
Hey, I don't hate them. I would take a King Cobra.
Oh, yeah.
Those are kind of cool, even though they had a Phoenix on the hood.
2-barrel, pickle green, 71 Duster. Colleen had a 71 Charger. That's an awesome car.
That is an awesome car.
Oh, wait, what do you got? ASO's got a 74 Mustang. First car drove. Oh, my gosh.
It would have been a grain truck or a flatbed hay truck.
So you remember the Chevy Love?
Yes, I had one.
My first driving experience, other than sitting in a tractor, was at 7 years old. And my grandfather had a powder blue Chevy Love. And he taught me how to put it in first gear and start it while in first gear. And he would just, limp to a start so that when he's out working on the fence out on the farm, I could run up to the house and get whatever he needed. And I would literally limp it all the way up to the house in first gear, hit the brakes until it died, and go get whatever he needed, jump back in the Love, limp it to start, and drive it all the way back. And my mother found out, and I wasn't allowed to go to Grandpa's for like 6 months.
Sand Mountain, they had a Mustang too that had a Phoenix on the hood, but I don't remember what it was. I've seen pictures of it in a magazine. Maybe somebody did it. I don't know. But it was white and blue.
And it had a Phoenix.
It had a Phoenix on the hood.
Was that just popular before Trans Am took it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll have to Google it.
I think the old strike packages, whatever they could do to sell a car, was kind of the thing. King Cobras had the snake. Yep, I remember that.
Oh, 69 K5 Blazer.
Oh, wow.
You could buy a new house for what one of those costs now.
I'm kicking myself because back in 2001, I picked up a 72 Chevy Suburban, the 3-door. Dudes with Wrenches knows what I'm talking about. Has that just the 3-door. It's missing the one on the other side. And it was the powder blue and white two-tone. And I sold it. I bought it for $900 out of a cornfield. And I brought it home and I took the engine apart and I was trying to clean it up and get it running. And I was hard up for money and a guy walked up with $2,500 cash and I took it. Oh, I regret it every moment of every day since.
There's a guy I follow on one of the C10 sites I'm on. His name's Fidel Lemans. He has a whole collection of those things out in California. I think he owns every Orchid and White, which is the yellowish, goldish color, C10 and K5 Blazer out there. But man, they're freaking sweet.
Dude said he first drove a 69 K5 327 manual, 53 Ford F-250. That's awesome. So my dad bought, all right, they're not a K5. What's the military one?
Oh,
it's an M something, right?
Well, they had the Cuck V and the M.
It was a K5, but
Yeah.
it was the military version.
The trucks was the Cuck V, like CCUV, and I think the Blazer was like MMUV or something like that.
I remember my dad discovered this thing called a government auction when I was a kid. And he thought that was the coolest thing ever. And he went and bought this massive air compressor that my mom still has to the day. It's just huge. And he ended up buying a bunch of tools. And he bought this OD green Blazer that obviously wasn't. But that, to me, was the coolest thing I'd ever seen.
Did it have the gutless 6.2 diesel in it?
No, it was a Chevy V8. I don't know why it didn't have the diesel. You'd have thought it would have.
Cuck V M1009. Okay.
There you go. And I remember they went through and painted the top. They painted the interior. I don't remember if it stayed green on the outside. Like my memory doesn't remember. I remember they were painting stuff to make it not look like a military truck, which nowadays everybody paints their stuff to look like that. But it was a family project that we all got involved in. We'd take the top off and go cruising. It was a lot of fun. But it's just one of those things that my dad thought he had, figured everything out going to a government auction. He's like, I'm circumventing the system.
I would take a Humvee.
A lot of guys, especially guys that worked in the maintenance shop for the military, will swear against them all day long.
I was in the military, and I can assure you that they will get stuck.
So the big thing in Alaska is there was a few Humvees, but everybody wanted Unimogs up there.
Unimogs are freaking cool.
Yeah, I didn't have that kind of money, but everybody seemed to have a Unimog. I personally have always wanted a real Hummer, the Humvee. But I'm afraid I would spend all my time wrenching on it.
Well, a lot of guys Duramax swap them,
Right.
and
At least you get some reliability out of it.
right, and they have an LS swap for them too.
Yeah, dudes, that's what I hear is they pretty much, if you're going to pick up a military Humvee, it's going to be garbage.
Well, see, that's what gets me
But if you swap it, then you know what you're getting anyway.
When you see military grade hardware, that don't impress me because that just means that it was made by the cheapest person who would make it.
It's pretty much how it goes. They didn't spend the cheapest amount of money on it.
No.
But it was made by the cheapest builder. Oh my gosh, Bear Rose. And you know, well, I don't even have to tell you what your 72K5 is worth now. I mean, even though the used car prices are coming down right now, it's
the classic cars are not though.
No, and exotics aren't. A car that was worth 90 to 100,000, and I don't have that, but there are cars that are worth 90, 100,000 2 years ago are sitting at the 200,000 mark right now. And I'd be lying if I didn't say I watch that market, because I do watch it. Because you never know, I might come across something that's worth money and maybe has a cheap price. But
I want a early '80s Porsche 911, one of the whale tail.
Pretty much everybody does. I don't want to have to work on it, but
my son had a 944. Don't ever buy one of those. The biggest POS.
I was obsessed with this guy. This guy lived, over in Parsons, just a few miles from me. And he had a 914. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. He had two of them. And the one that was in the driveway must have been a parts car or whatever. But he tried to sell it to me so many different times. And I said, so what's wrong with it? He goes, we're going to have to pull the engine and split it apart. And they leak like crazy. And you're going to have to do all this work to it. And I went, I am not interested at all. I want a car that I can get in and turn the key and drive off.
Well, the Porsche community doesn't even recognize the 914 as a Porsche.
And there you go.
You're right, dudes with wrenches. Military grade does mean lowest bidder.
Man, we are kicking butt on this live, I'm telling you.
DRC, have a good night, man.
Thanks for stopping in, DRC. We appreciate you.
We enjoyed your live.
Hey, I drove all the way to see Punisher. This is his live as well. So thank you for stopping in.
Most of these guys don't even know me.
How do you not know Punisher?
Well, I don't know.
This thing, turbocharged LS, Pontiac Lemans. I mean, it's about as GTO as you could ever get. And he's got Punisher mask on the hood. Like, this car is badass.
I'm going to give you a not a sneak peek. It'll be a little hint at a video coming up that involves an American Punisher flag that my wife bought me.
Oh, my gosh.
American flag and an open parking lot.
Okay. So watch for that.
That'll be fun.
And you just got around 650 subs, right?
Yes.
So Punisher's one of the guys I've been rooting for, just like Buck, JB, Perpetual Projects, all these guys that I was rooting for to get that 500 mark, because some of these guys got legit race cars compared to what I'm building. And I want to see them race. And this is one of them. And he's close enough that I had to drive down here and see it in person. Go check out his channel. Go check out what he's building. Just like everybody else, every video gets better and better and better. And you're getting to see some really cool stuff on this car. And this is not his first time racing. So you're going to see some cool stuff, especially at No Name Nationals.
Punisher, the man Lemans. Thanks, Bear Rose. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I need to get my wife to call me that.
Punisher, the man.
The man, yeah.
Well, punish her. Don't punish her. That's right, Jason. His stuff is good. And again, he's legit. Like, He's not me. He's not trying to build a car out of a tree row and call it a race car. My car's not a race car. If you've seen the latest video, you don't put air ride on a race car. I did it because I've always wanted to build an air ride car. I always liked low riding cars, and I thought the springs are shot, the back springs were rusted out completely. I can't find those parts. They're unobtainium. So instead of trying to hunt down the parts or beg somebody to sell me something, I threw in 2,500 pound airbags. Well, eBay had them on sale, $100 bucks for 4 of them. And all I had to do was get a compressor. So I've got, what do you call the little portable air tank, you carry around? I have an extra one of those. Bubble. Yeah, air bubble. So I got an air bubble, and I got a small little 12-volt compressor that has its own little mini purge tank. So I've got the two connected. I've got a $100 eBay solenoid setup. We're talking the cheap of the cheap. This thing is not going to jump up and down. It's going to show up, and it's going to drop to the ground. And then whenever I want to go somewhere, it's going to take like 2 minutes to air up, and then it'll go do its thing. But it is what it is. I'm not trying to build a race car. This is a race car.
Sand Mountain, if you're asking about my car, when it was on 14 pounds, it made me ride at around 700 at the wheels.
Yeah, that doesn't suck. So my LS, just to give you an idea, from the factory was 295 horse. My 6-liter LQ9 is 400 horse from the factory. But my Pontiac has a 30 or 250,000 mile 5.3 in it. So any 295 that there was is not there anymore. So think about that. That level of engine sitting at 700 horse, that doesn't suck.
Like I said, it ran low 10s with a bad converter. I have a video on my YouTube of my dash cam in the car. It was on 14 pounds, and you never hear it shift because that JEGS XDH converter hated its life. With a good converter, it would have been a 9-second pass.
Nice. But you're manual now.
Yeah, I'm manual. It's got a 5-speed in it now.
A 5-speed with a killer shifter in it.
I got my scramble button on there.
So I got to learn what a scramble button meant. I didn't know. I know now. I'm looking forward to seeing him hit the button. As long as it doesn't blow up.
I hope I don't have to hit the button.
Yeah, Hunter, it's going to be a beast. I mean, when you see this car and you got the Punisher decal on the hood, well, right now it's hand drawn on the hood. It's sinister, and I mean that word. It's badass. You can hear it. It sounds badass. It's going to make cool little twirly noises when it goes down the road. It's going to be fast. I'm just stoked to get to be here with it.
I raced a 600. It was a R6 crotch rocket.
Oh.
I raced him from a roll, and I had him up to about 140, and I let out of it. So
wow.
I outran a 600 crotch rocket with it. That was one of my goals. I had 2 goals: get kicked out of the track for going too fast and beat a crotch rocket, and I've done both.
Dude says, I don't build race cars, well, except for that one. Jason, I put a Power Glide and a 5.3 in an S10 because I've always wanted a Power Glide. I assume that worked out pretty well. I'm doing the TX350 and hope that it survives, since I've never, ever used it. I don't know anything about it. All right, Jay, I know you're going to edit, but I love you. Thanks for stopping in, man.
Later.
And Hunter, yes, he did, if he hadn't answered already. Oh, he already answered. And Cousin Mike, that Thunderbird is just the sweetest car. Like, it doesn't need to pop wheelies. It doesn't need to do burnouts. It just needs to show up, and it's got all the attention.
So I heard Barrows say that he may put a Ford motor in a Mopar.
I heard that. I'd like to see it.
Now,
I would be so honestly, and I don't know. We're sitting in front of an LS, and I have an LS. And, I mean, it's an LS world. Do not put an LS in that car. But a Ford, that'd be cool.
I
almost put a Ford 460 in my Pontiac, and I had another guy offering to send me a Mopar engine for the Pontiac, and I knew it would have pissed off the purists, but I already had. If the parts would have been available, I would have absolutely done it. I don't care. If I'm building a nut and bolt restoration car, it's different. I'm not. I will put any engine in there as long as I can make it fit. The only reason why it has a TH350 is because I didn't want to have to tappy tap the tunnel. TH350 just nicely slides up in there. The 4L60E, the 4L80E, TH400, none of those would have fit. So that's the only reason why I got a TH350. That, and it was laying under my bench for 10 years. I was thinking about putting something else in there, but
there's a guy that Coyote swapped a 67 Firebird.
I mean, it obviously gets views.
The Pontiac guy said, well, at least it's not LS swap.
Right. So Vice Grip, he just started working on a Hemi swap.
I seen that
into a Chevy square body because he had it, and that's why I LS swapped my Pontiac. Not because it's cheap and easy and anything like that. It's because it was sitting in the yard already. I didn't have to pay anybody to do it. It is cheap and easy, and I couldn't wait to go find a different engine. Trust me. I looked everywhere for the cheapest engine I could find. I looked up big blocks all day long, knowing that it was going to be a pain to put them in there. I wanted something different in there. But at the end of the day, No Name Nationals is calling. There's an LS sitting right in my side yard. That's what's in the car. It's cheap, easy, and it'll give me plenty of power.
Sam Mountain, you're 100% correct. Everything in my car is bolt in. If I wanted to put this car back to original, I could literally unbolt everything under the hood and put a Pontiac motor back in it in 1 weekend.
And that's what I'm doing too. People have asked 100 times over, how are you mounting the engine in the car? Well, the answer is I put the engine and the transmission in the car. I kind of fit it where I think it looks good. It gives me plenty of space everywhere, clearance all the way around. I'm a little tight against that rear steer box that's back on the frame, but so far everything clears. And the answer is, if I can't find the mount that I want to put right where the original mounts were, then I'm going to weld them on.
Yes.
And then I can always cut them off later. I'm not cutting off the original mounting point because someday I might find me a Pontiac engine that I can put in it. I'm not opposed to doing that.
Here's the thing. I am a Pontiac guy, but I'm not giving $1,500 for a 455 block.
Right.
That's the reason why my car had a worn-out Pontiac 352 barrel in it. You would have had to lift up on the right rear tire, the right rear wheel well to get it to spin out. It was ridiculous.
Speaking of, Jay's still on here. So that big old intake you have, is that for the 455? That thing's massive. Have you seen it?
I don't think so.
I think it's an Offenhauser. Like, it is huge tunnel ram intake. It's for an Olds. That's what it is. I don't think it's Pontiac. I think it's Olds. But whatever it is, it's massive. Hunter says you can find them pretty cheap if you know. Well, send me the link, Hunter. We'll play with that in the next year. Yeah, Olds 455. That's what I thought. I was thinking Pontiac, but then I realized I was pretty sure it was Olds.
I like Oldsmobiles. They're not my favorite A-body. I like the Buicks. My first favorite is the Pontiac. My second would be the Buick GS.
Oh, agreed. I'm a huge Buick fan.
I don't like the 68, the 69 Buicks. They got that weird body line, but I love the 70, 71, 72 GSOs.
See, I'm of course partial to that 68 Chevelle, but it kind of had its own thing going. And 66, 67 had a different body, and then 68, 69, and then of course your 70, 72. I like all of them, but just when they took the window from a point, none of these had it, and then they did that little cutoff. That's where the look changed for me, because mine came to a point. But they're all awesome. Dudes has an Olds X body right now.
So is that like an Omega?
Nice. 72 Cutlass.
Yes, 74 Omega.
Oh, right. No, I did see that. It's got that. No, it's a Nova looking thing. Yeah.
Kid I went to high school with, his mom and dad had a lime green with a green vinyl top and green interior 4-door 73 or 74 Olds Omega.
Wow.
Had the 350 rocket in it. We thought that thing was a race car.
So I grew up, my grandmother had I don't know what color it was. It was like an off-white tan looking Nova, 2-door, was not an SS, but it had a V8 in it. And the thing I remember, my grandmother's frail. She had rheumatoid arthritis, very, very weak, very frail, about 90 pounds. She would take me to the pool in this Nova. And I guess that takes me back to muscle car thinking. I used to get in that car all the time and pretend like I was driving. And she'd take me to the pool, drop me off, and I'd just make it inside. And she'd be sitting at the stop sign, just peeling out in this car. And everybody's looking, and then they look at me, and I was so embarrassed. And now I look back and go, my grandma was pretty cool.
Right.
Burning out in a Nova in front of the pool.
All I can think of with Novas is Eddie Murphy at 48 Hours
Yes.
rolling up in his blue Nova.
I mean, it looked a lot like that.
Mostly old parts and rust. What's up, Patrick?
Gosh, Patrick's here. Yeah, Patrick, Punisher wanted me to measure trunks. I actually beat him. My trunk's bigger than his.
Yeah.
But his turbo's bigger, so. All right, I saw Mopar's Mustang Minivan gained 4 subs for our live. So thank you all for supporting those guys. And if you haven't subbed them yet, get over there and sub them, because, they need more subs. And I'm all about making sure everybody gets to No Name if they want to be there. And I have no idea if we stepped on anybody else's toes tonight. So if we did, I apologize.
Right.
I felt like Eric had something coming up. Almost positive Eric had something coming up. Let's see. What's today? Drain plug. That's for the 27th, 6th, 7th. I swear Eric had something coming up today.
Patrick, it's just a cast wheel. It had a billet wheel 76, 75 comp turbo on it. But I ended up trading it to a buddy, and I bought this VS cast 78, 75.
Eric's is tomorrow. I just wanted to make sure we weren't stepping on anybody's toes. Oh, he's asking back to turbo. Dancing alone with rentals. I'll eat Hawaiian pizza. Do you put pineapple on your pizza?
I love Hawaiian pizza.
There you go. We're good. We'll take it. ASO's in too. All right. Sounds like we're getting Hawaiian pizza for everybody.
about any kind of pizza as long as it doesn't have olives or anchovies. I won't eat.
I don't think I'd do anchovies. I could do olives. I'm not a huge fan, but yeah, Jay, you're living the dream, buddy. Like, I know your yard is full, but I aspire to have your yard full of cars. I'm just saying.
Patrick, that's when I got mine. Was Black Friday. I gave 200 even for it, 199
wow.
for my turbo.
That's a good deal.
That's why I bought it.
VS Racing?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I guess I know where to look.
It's their OG turbo, the same one that
And
sloppy
Black Friday.
mechanics put on everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's coming up. Buy some more hats and T-shirts, and I'll get one on Black Friday.
Maybe I'll upgrade and give you a deal.
Oh, see? So buy some more hats and T-shirts. He can upgrade, and then we'll do a deal.
I'll even sign it.
All right. Now, that's just cool. We can put this in my car. You guys need to, help him out. Get him up to monetization so he can start getting paid for videos. I mean, we've already made 20-some bucks on this one.
That ain't going to cover your gas on the way home, though.
Yeah, but it's 15 cents cheaper in Joplin
Yeah.
than it is at home.
It's, we've been cheaper. We actually have been one of the cheapest in the nation on the.
Right.
So
I vacation in Branson a lot just because it's not Kansas. And my kids love it. They go to the Silver Dollar City. We do the go-karts. They have car museums. It's fun. But it's a 4-hour drive for us. So what we'll do is we'll make sure we have just enough fuel in the tank to get across the border into Missouri and buy gas in Missouri because it's so much cheaper. So I actually just put in enough gas to get here.
okay,
And then I'm going to
so
fill my tank when I leave.
when you leave here, if you go down 32nd Street out towards the I-44, there's a little gas station out there that's $3.25.
Whoa. Okay. Well, I know which way I'm going home.
It's a Union 76 station.
Okay. Does it got a big orange bulb?
Yep.
That's awesome. All right. What else you guys want to talk about? We've kept you on here for over 2 hours. I think that's awesome for our first live. I can't complain at all. I really came to come check out his car, maybe play with some stuff. And at the last minute, I thought, let's do a live. I thought it'd be fun. And you guys have not disappointed.
No.
13 in the chat. I know we had more than that earlier, so that's awesome. Dudes, how are you doing with that? Do you got enough watch hours yet on monetization? I know those shorts got you all your subs, but watch hours are a pain to get.
I was watching one of those things.
Nope.
They said you can get paid from shorts if you have enough
Correct.
shorts.
You can. So any of my shorts that don't use music or something else, I can turn on monetization and actually get paid for them. But you have to get the watch hours first.
Okay.
And the shorts don't count as watch hours.
I knew that.
They do get you subs, though. Holy crap. I mean, dudes knows.
I used my shorts mainly got me to 500.
Shorts bonus is a pipe dream. Don't believe it. So I agree. But Barrows put out an interesting link this last week. And if you actually listen to the whole video, the big change with shorts and YouTube is they're going from just being useful to gather subs to the new algorithm coming out. If they watch your short, and I think they have to, interact, either comment, like, whatever, it'll now link them to your long videos, which it never did before. They could like your shorts all day, but they wouldn't get to your long videos unless they manually went to them. Well, now it'll start popping up in their suggested videos. So, like Dudes is doing more long videos. So all those people that have interacted on his shorts will start getting access to his long videos without him actually having to push them to it. So hopefully that works out. YouTube mix. See, there you go. That's already working. Patrick, I'll send you an email. I thought you had my email, but I'll get you an email sent. You pretty much email me, Instagram message. By the time you get the email, you'll have my phone number. Figure it out. I have a very unique phone number. Not many people have it. Yeah, after you're viral, but I think it retros back, Jay. I think if your short is still getting views, it should. I don't know all the details. I'm not a computer programmer, but the way I understood it is if your short's doing well and people interact with it, it's supposed to then take you suggesting the long form videos, which we all know that's where the eventual money's coming. I think what did I tell you? I made $9 today.
Yeah.
That's $9. Well, plus what you guys have given in the live chat. So thank you.
But now at 53,000 subs, do you not get people wanting you to sponsor?
So dudes, let us know when you start getting sponsors. Because I've had a few people hit me up for stuff that I wasn't willing to jump through their hoops to do it. But then you got Dalton, who's getting some benefit. I'm not going to say he's getting a lot of money, but he's getting some benefit because he has so many subs.
Somebody sent him a big light bar. Oh, and it's the ceramic wash for the Holy Goat.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, the ceramic. I remember that. So dudes gets lots of offers. Dudes, I hope they're. Yeah, I see they're all junk. I'm kind of there with you. I've only got a couple of them. They seem pretty suspect, and honestly, I'm not interested. If they want to send me something, I will absolutely talk about it. I will review it honestly. If it's garbage, I will say it's garbage. If it's neat and it works and it's cheap, that's what I'll say. But if they want me to jump through a hoop to get it, it's not happening.
Well, Kick Performance, I got a shirt.
Right, you have a sponsor.
I have a Tick Performance cam in my car.
Yeah.
I got a story for you guys. So I was on Facebook and I entered one of those Facebook drawings for Tick Performance Cam Kit giveaway, and I actually won. I won a $800 Tick Performance Cam Kit package for my car. So that's the only reason why it's got an $800 cam kit in it.
But it's awesome.
So that is legit. They actually do give stuff away. So,
And didn't they give you a whole bunch of swag too?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I won the shirt and hat and stuff for Brian Tooley Racing.
Yeah.
And I do have some Brian Tooley Racing stuff on my car too. So
I don't know if you already talked to them, but I'd call the cam folks up and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to put your banner up or something, just put it out there, see if they want to do something else with it. I've hit up WireCare trying to get them to send me some stuff. Yeah, dudes, I'm the same way. So, again, I'm not saying I'm doing this for money, but that's kind of the goal, right? When you hit the monetization, you want to get a little bit.
I don't.
Unless it's a significant, amazing product, or they give me so much money that I can lie through my teeth, which I don't know if I could do that. It'd have to be a stupid amount of money. But,
I mean, telling your wife you didn't buy race car parts is one thing, but I mean, lying about a product's another.
What did you buy? A new air filter.
They gave it to me.
It's a metal air filter with a little spinny thing that chops things as it comes in. It filters the air. It's an air filter.
My wife don't even ask any questions. I don't ask questions about all the Amazon boxes. So
my wife has been awesome about supporting the channel. Obviously, you guys have seen her on the channel. She hates being on camera, but she's beautiful. She's funny. I just appreciate all of her support. I know she's been a little worried about the amount of boxes that show up, but yet, if I say I need it for the car, she's been awesome. So I can't thank her enough. She's right now my number one supporter, and I just appreciate it.
Oh, my wife's definitely a supporter. She's the one that booked the hotel room for the No Name Nationals.
Mine booked ours too. Yep.
She's the one that got me my AHRA membership.
I agree, Colleen. She's a keeper. So here's what I'll say. When No Name Nationals is over, we all know it's not over. That's just new beginning for 2023. Like John's already said, it's happening again. And of course, it's going to be bigger, better. We're going to get the, I guess, the community review, kind of weed out the Richards. We don't want those again. But once No Name's over this year, my wife and I are taking a vacation. It's just going to happen. So buy a hat and T-shirt so I can take her on a decent vacation and not just go to Branson. We need to go somewhere with a beach. Maybe go shark fishing like Jeff did. But we need to get away for a little bit. This has been stressful for us. It's stressful for everybody, but trying to take a car out of the woods that's been sitting for 30 years and making it into something in 100 days, it definitely tested me. I'm not even there yet, but I think I'm a lot farther than you guys realize. But you won't see that until right before No Name. I'm not trying to hide anything. It's just you got to build the drama on YouTube a little bit. You know, we're going to lose the shop. Yeah, my garage is paid for, so I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, so Barrows brings it up that Country Boy Gas got his channel hacked from one of those offers. I watched that whole thing unfold, and I felt horrible for this guy because he had to rebuild his channel. The only other channel I saw that truly was destroyed like that was the Restored channel, the Turn and Rust guys. Do you know those guys?
Yeah.
So they had a whole channel called Turn and Rust, but they had a third person that was part of their channel. And that person, you know, videoed and did all the editing and, of course, all the marketing and basically ran the channel for them. And then they just got the money on the back end. Well, when COVID hit, he decided he wasn't going to participate anymore. And I won't get into all the drama, but basically stole the channel from them. So these guys had to start a 250,000 sub channel over again. And they did. And they actually, 2 years later, got both channels now. So they have them both now. I don't know what they had to do to get it, but they now have both channels. So they have a ridiculous amount. And again, I remember when those guys had, 100 subs. So you got to be careful on YouTube. Not only are there too many haters out there, keyboard warriors, trolls, Richards, whatever you want to call them. There's plenty of that'll get you down. But then you got the guys that our emails are usually published, right? So guess who? They send us emails, and they're trying to convince you to try out their product. And if you'll just buy from their website or buy from Amazon or whatever, they refuse to use my P.O. box to send me anything. And I said, if it's good enough for everyone else to send mail to, then it's good enough for you to send. Well, no, we can't send to that. And I said, then don't send it. And so far, they haven't sent it. So I'm not missing out.
Dudes with Trenches, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by.
See you, dudes.
Dudes with Wrenches.
That's right.
I'm going to get that down.
Thank you very much. Well, we have, wow. We're going on 3 hours.
I don't feel like I've been standing here for 3 hours.
Don't you have to go to work?
No, I got off work.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. I do need to eat dinner at some point, though.
Oh, my God. I stole from your dinner time?
No, it's all right. Do I look like I could afford to miss a meal?
I figured you'd drink your dinner. But
No, I don't drink.
no, I don't either. Nothing against those that do. I'm more productive without it.
I quit doing that when I turned 21. It wasn't fun no more.
Jay loves the trolls, and Jay, I love that you love the trolls. You know, I jumped in to help out the one, and I finally just went, yeah, Jay's got this. I'm done.
I have a hater. I don't know who it is.
I've got one.
But as soon as I post a video, I have a thumbs down on every video.
Same.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Every one of them. Yep.
So they must be subscribed to my channel.
Yep.
And they must get notifications when I post.
But here's the beauty of the hater. The analytics loves it. So I don't need 100% like. That just tells me I got a bunch of yes men. You know, I got a lot of people that just agree whether it's good or not. Not all of my videos are good. I admit that. I put a lot more effort into some than others. I've got one video that most of you probably haven't even seen. That is when we basically inherited my father-in-law, my wife's dad passed. We inherited his truck, and it's an old beater Ford pickup truck. The most views it has is about the last 4 to 5 minutes of that video. It's almost an hour long. And if you look at the average view time, it's about 7 to 10 minutes for an hour-long video. And when you look at the peak time in the video, it's all that last bit. Because the last bit of that video, we did a tribute to her dad. So we talk about the truck, we work on the truck, we do different stuff for his truck all through the video. And in the very last bit, we did a tribute to him. That's what's gotten all the views. And that's actually what sent me up over 1,000 subs, was that video. But some of my videos, they're just really not as interesting as others.
So my daughter, she's almost 13. She has her own YouTube channel. And I'm pretty strict on it. She can't show her face or anything. But she makes shorts out of stuff for Stranger Things and Harry Potter and stuff. She almost has more subscribers than I do.
It's funny how that works.
I'm like, how are you doing this? But she keeps up with me, and it's pretty impressive.
Instagram. All right. JB's back.
He already built a new transmission.
Yeah, he's probably swapped in 2 of them just during this live. JB, I know you love the trolls. I'm telling you, man. Don't let them get to you. We love you. Your channel's awesome. Don't worry about the trolls. I will admit I finally caved in, and I have muted one particular hater. He's not a troll. He's a hater. He hates me. He has said so. I am destroying a vintage 63 Pontiac that's worth $3.1 million. And then he gives me 10 paragraphs about the history of this car. I was truly interested in the history and the information provided. I didn't like the swearing, and I didn't like basically the full hijack of every one of my comment streams. So I muted him. I let him come back. It happened again. He's muted for now. I don't have time for it. And I hate that because I want to hear what everybody has to say. But I don't have time for that right now.
Buck Does It's in the house.
Oh, man.
What's up, Buck? I'm trying to be like you. I was telling Buff that, I was ahead of you for a little while, and then like overnight, you like tripled me. So I'm not sure what happened there.
Buck's awesome. He's done so much for all the other channels that the fact that he wasn't over 500 for so long, it almost irritated me. It's like he's done so much for everybody else to get them over the hump, and he himself wasn't there. And then out of nowhere, it took off because it had to. You can't be that important to this community and not skyrocket. It wasn't for any other thing than he just put the hard work in. His constant shorts is good quality buck skylight videos. They accounted for all of that, but he just sat there and hovered for so long. And like you said, you were ahead of him. And then he'd creep up, and it was just this back and forth race. And then all of a sudden, he was just gone.
And then, yeah, he has helped so many people get over that 500 mark,
Right,
with his lives and reviews of the No Name Nationals and stuff. Buck's put in a lot of hard work.
okay, what's the topic, Barrows? I missed it. Barrows often, I mean, he's kind of my anchor. He's held down my all of my, I guess, shorts, chats, just discussion in general. He's been super supportive. Him and Buck were both my first mods. Once I learned how to do mods, and this, of course, my first live. So I think it's going all right.
I'd say so. It's like almost 3 hours.
Mopar Al, yep. So I'll be honest, I shot a troll or anti-troll video and I never posted it. I didn't want to give him the time of day. I'm not against anyone who does. I fully appreciate the videos when I see them because I know what you're going through. But I shot an anti-troll video and I actually showed it to my wife and she goes, "Wow, they really got to you." And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to post it." And she said, "Don't." So I appreciate my wife being honest with me. And everyone I've talked to, John Wilburn had an awesome, I think it was 4-hour conversation on the phone with me one day talking about trolls. He said, just take it for what it is. It's a boost to your algorithm. Kill them with kindness. Say thanks for watching. I actually told my troll, thanks for supporting my channel. If you'd like to support it more, go to buffsgarage.com, buy a hat, t-shirt. Woo! That made him mad. But at the end of the day, I tried to kill him with kindness because I do want people watching and I do want the feedback. I just don't want I don't mind negativity. I don't want the vulgarity. I mean, I'll sit around a fire pit and cuss and all that with everybody else, but I don't want it on my channel.
That's what's weird.
Yeah.
I cuss like a sailor, but as soon as I start making videos, I'm like a church child.
Well, just like Jay said, now that he's getting monetized, he has to start beeping his videos out. But I gotta be honest, if he wasn't doing that, you'd know. Like, that's just Jay. You gotta know that. Thanks, Lars. We love you, man. You and JB are just the highlight of my day when you guys post stuff. So we're doing the best we can. We literally, not even kidding, set this up this week. And I said, "Hey, what are you doing? I'm going to just drop in." He had some parts for me. I was bringing some parts. And I said today, "Hey, what do you think about doing a live?"
Sure.
Be bold, right? Put it out there and see what happens. And here we are 3 hours in, still kicking butt at it. So I'm going to have to wrap it up at some point.
Never fear the Dougsters here.
Look at that. Doug's in the house. You know who I haven't seen is Dean.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen yet. But the whole link getting moved around may have affected some of that. I don't know.
I'm surprised John didn't stop in and say hi.
Oh, John's always there. John's always there. He may not comment, but he's always there. And that's one thing I've learned is I'll be talking about stuff and John has never shown up in the chat. But when I'm talking to him the next day on the phone, John was there. He's always watching. He actually might not be. I don't remember if he's got something else going on.
So he's like a secret spy.
He is. He's his own community watch guy right now, but he's trying not to censor anyone. That's what the new group's going to be about 2023. I agree, Dakota. John Wilbert in Savannah. The first live I watched with him, I connected with him immediately. And the first time we talked on the phone, we talked for over 4 hours. And for someone to call me out of the blue and ask me if I can change some part on a 94 Honda. Is this Buff's Garage? Yeah, this is Buff's Garage. He goes, I got a 94 Honda. Can you change this part out for me? And I was like, hold up. I know that voice. And from then on, we were good.
Patrick, it's all together. I just need to build the downpipe for it and hook up the oil drain and the oil feed line, and it's good to go.
Oh, I forgot about the oil drain. Yeah, that's kind of important.
I'm just working on body work right now, and then.
And I'm here messing it up by touching his bare metal with my oily hands.
Because I know if I finish it, I'll go out and drive it, and all my work of sanding and stuff will go out the window.
All right, we're going to move this just for a minute. There's some light you can kind of see. Hold on. Oh, he's getting light. What? There you go. It's there. It just needs a little bit more finish work. Hello, Go Garage. Thanks for coming in.
Yes, thank you for stopping by. I know, Patrick, it doesn't make it go faster, but you know what? I had to replace the door because there was an incident unloading it after the track where it slipped off the trailer, and it was a bad night. So the door didn't match, so I had to repaint it anyway. So
yeah, he's got a whole goal for this, Patrick, and I may or may not know the secret now that I'm not going to reveal. But what I will say is, when it's done, it's going to blow all of you guys away. I know you guys. I know what you like. I wasn't expecting this, so I'm going to leave it at that. You're going to like it. So just don't give him crap about the bodywork. It's necessary for the next step. If we stand still, we die, right? You got to keep moving. And no project's ever done. And he's taking this to another level that you're not going to expect, but you're going to love. I guarantee it. Thanks, Bear Rose, for hitting up Go-Go's. We appreciate you dropping in. Go over to their channel, see what you think of them, and give them a sub. Mopars, Mustangs, minivans, they have gained some subs this live. So, again, if you haven't subbed them, hit them up too. And Lars, LP94 is Lars from JB Little Shop. We love Lars. Go give him some love. He's already associated with JB's Little Shop. So, as I understand the rules, he's in for the no-name 500. But give Lars some love. He needs to get some subs.
I'll make it.
Oh, he's going to make it. He's closer than I am. He took his car apart when I'm trying to put mine together. He's still closer than I am. And Doug's singing now.
Great. I'm going to have that song stuck in my head. Thanks, Doug.
We got a live coming, Buck? Or is that tomorrow?
We still have 16 watching.
$256 Garage. I'm apparently subbed them and they started a live.
Are those the guys that's building the GTO? No, that's 323. There's some guys building a barn and find GTO, 69 GTO. That I've been watching. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. We love you, Lars. Appreciate you, man. You're going to keep us entertained, so keep the content coming. I'm watching your stuff. You know I am. Everybody get your subs out. ASO 256 is an hour for me. So I hate if we're stepping on their toes. That wasn't my intent. They've got 682 subscribers, so they've got over their 500.
Look at that. We're about to break 3 hours.
for sure.
I didn't know I could stand still this long.
Well, I appreciate it. It was unexpected.
This is the longest I spent in my garage not looking for tools that I just had.
All right, Drain Plug Garage got one at 11 p.m.
I'll be in bed by then.
Yeah, everybody else is tomorrow or the next day. So. Just keep Lars away from the gas tank with a rag and a lighter. That's really where we're at. Anyone swap an LT1 Gen 5?
I want to.
What does that come in? Camaro, Corvette?
You can get them in. My 14 Silverado had a 5.3.
What?
The Gen 5 5.3 is a LT motor.
Really?
If you look it up, the size of the connecting rod out of a stock Gen 5 versus a Gen 4
Right.
LS, they're massive.
Wow.
The only problem is they're direct port injection, so they have it's a little weird for tuning and stuff.
Look at that. Barrow's even got the link. Go check out Lars. He's getting creative with dealing with the Blazer. I'll say that.
TI Mopar, what's up?
Oh, man. Well, you can't spell Mopar without Tim.
Yeah, I know.
So. Hello, Tim.
Patrick, I'm in Missouri, but I'm like 10 miles across the Kansas line.
Oh, right. No. Yeah, he is just across the Kansas-Missouri line in Joplin. And we were just talking. We both grew up really close to each other in Kansas. I live 2 hours, well, almost 2.5 hours away. But I travel this way a lot to go to Branson for vacation. So for me, he said he's in Joplin. I'm like, well, that's just right down the road. Well, it's not. It's 2.5 hours away. But to me, it's worth the trip because I get to see a fellow no-name guy, a fellow Pontiac guy, and honestly, it got me out of my garage. I was getting burned out, and I actually enjoy welding, but I have been doing nothing but welding and grinding and cutting for 3 weeks. I don't want the car to fall apart, so it was nice to get away. It's very awesome to get away. And yes, Doug, Branson is the mini Nashville. I remember it in the 80s and 90s. It's not like that anymore, but it's still fun. My kids love the go-karts, the mini golf, and the amusement park there. They have water park. It's fun. It's just a nice getaway.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely fun.
We have Kansas City that's got some stuff too, but we like going down there because Ozark Mountains, bluegrass music, it's just more laid back. And I like the laid back versus the fast pace.
And you got all the blacksmithing and
Yeah.
glass blowing.
We actually talked about that in the live the other day. We talked about craftsmen. So blacksmithing, glass blowing, leather making, knife. There's a guy that makes knives there, like by hand. So it's an amusement park with actual amusement park rides, but then they've got craftsmen everywhere. Bakery, candy maker. They're all their own bread fresh there every day in the amusement park. They make candy. They got a taffy machine. They have a cave, one of the largest caves anywhere.
It's cool too.
They can actually fly hot air balloons inside the cave. It's so massive. So for us, it's just a fun getaway. It's something fun to do. And the craftsman part of it's my favorite because I like to watch these guys bend metal or blow glass or whatever. It's pretty cool. And yeah, Patrick, it is a short hop. And I look at it this way. If you've never been to Alaska, it's about perspective. So for me, where I lived in Alaska, for me to go to Walmart, it was 6 hours one way to go to Walmart. That's like driving across the entire state of Kansas. But for me, that was just driving from my little town to the next biggest town. To see a stoplight was 5.5 hour drive. Everything else was stop sign, right? So if I can drive 6 hours one way to go to Walmart, 6 hours back, and of course we'd have Costco and all that too. I figured 2.5 hours to go see a fellow no-name and Pontiac guy is nothing. and gas prices are coming down, and it's actually cheaper to buy in Missouri. So it was worth it. I'm going to go see Dalton. Well, I probably actually won't see him until No Name, but Dalton's literally the opposite direction here. But from my house, he's only an hour and a half. So I'll go see him and check out Pole Barn Garage too.
I drove up almost
you
2
were just
hours
there
to go hang out with Dalton and meet another Pontiac guy, Mike Williams.
Yep.
And I gave him some trim parts for his daughter's car he's building.
That's how that worked out.
And then
yeah,
was hanging out with Dalton. Yeah, that's where Mike was driving Dalton's car.
Yep. And if you haven't seen that video, they're not only running around in the Holy Goat, but then this guy right here ends up doing body work, which he just loves. He did it for Dalton. So
Well,
that's this community we're in. We're there to help each other out, and in return, you get a little sub boost or a little bit, of a collab, and it's good for everybody. All right, where are we at? Looks like I'm losing Hunter. Tim's only 5 hours away from Joplin. That's actually not horrible. That's so from my house, it's right around 6 hours to Sykeston. So that's not so bad.
There's one of the Mopar guys that's in the No Name Nationals that's around Joplin because he races at Mocan. I don't remember who it was.
Is Hog Shooter out of Oklahoma?
I don't know who that is.
You guys correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he's out of Oklahoma. And I thought he'd mentioned Mocan before, but maybe he's just strictly Oklahoma. Rosebud, South Dakota to Rapid City. Yep. The Alabama Outlaw. All right, guys, you have any more questions? I haven't let him eat yet. Like, I showed up right after he got off work and just said, hey, let's do this. And I haven't really given him a chance to do anything else.
I didn't want to go away because he had that big hammer when he came in, and I didn't want to have to fix any more body work.
I brought the hammer. He said he wanted help. I brought the hammer.
It's not needed.
Tim, I would love to. My email is in my about on my channel. Feel free to send me an email and we'll make it happen. I mean, at this point, other than finishing my car, I'm up for meeting up with anybody. Yeah, Doug knows all about this. The craftsmen are awesome. And to see the younger generation getting into the crafts, it makes me so happy because in the 90s, 2000, I thought that was kind of fading out and we were losing that. I'm seeing that right now with sign painters and pinstripers. That's my future. Is I'm actually going to try to learn how to do sign painting and pinstriping, all the the hand techniques and everything. Hopefully, you guys can watch that evolve on the channel as it comes. But I think that's a dying art, and it needs to be kept alive.
There's a guy I watch on TikTok. He does the hand painting.
Yep.
The pinstriping, and it is definitely an art.
Just to watch these guys, get their technique and their brush, and
he just puts one hand down, and
yep.
I can't even draw a straight line.
Well, you've got talent in your family.
Yeah, well, that ain't with me. I can draw a stick figure.
I'll tell you what, Patrick, I'm sure there's going to be a welder at No Name, and I'm sure I'm going to need some welds on the car at No Name. So feel free to put your initials in there. ASO, I know you guys are going to be there, and I'm so thankful. You guys have been a huge supporter of my channel and the whole No Name family. So we're looking forward to meeting you and seeing you there. And Go Garage, I agree. So I mentioned it in one of my videos. I'm just going to say it again. No Name Nationals has brought out a level of experience that was lost. we always want to learn from those people that have the knowledge and haven't passed it down. So like I learned from my father, but what I really learned most of all was how not to hold a flashlight and how to throw a wrench and a lot of new choice words. But he taught me that you could pretty much fix anything. And I'll be honest, my mother did too. My mother never let anything stop her. To this day, in her 60s, she's had cancer and beat it. She still mows 5 acres of her own farmland. She will drive down the road in a pickup truck, get out with a chainsaw and cut up a tree that's in the ditch. Like nothing stops this woman. But what I can tell you with this group, this family, is it has brought guys out of the woodwork that have all of this knowledge. Barrows being one of them that has just fascinated me completely. He's got that very detailed knowledge that doesn't just say this is how you do it, but he says this is how you can do it that I've learned over decades of doing it that you might not ever find in a book. He does stuff that you're not used to seeing, but it works and it's tried and true. It's been tested. That has been prolific throughout this family. And I am so thankful that we brought people out, starting channels, teaching me little stuff that I had no idea. Clint Street Machines, have you seen his?
Yeah.
So he's got the S10 and he's building the frame. He was the inspiration for how I'm fixing the frame on my Pontiac. The transmission, JB's little shop gave me all the confidence in the world to dig into the $800 minivan transmission. It takes an entire family to make one of these channels successful, and I'm thankful that I get to be a part of it. I'm glad that you're a part of it.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. This is awesome. My wife's always asked, because I listen to lives all the time.
Yeah.
My wife's like, how do you sit there and listen to that? I'm like, I don't know. It's interesting.
It is interesting. I will tell you, that's, what do we call it, the weird hour? When we get to the weird hour, it's like, might need to go to bed. But agreed, JB. There is nothing stupid about you. If people don't like you because you got a certain way that you do your video, or they don't like your accent, or they don't like the way you did this one thing, don't sweat it, man, because I love it. And I'm going to keep coming back to watch you. And I've learned stuff from you, and I've gained confidence from you, from nothing else than just watching you do what you do. So it's valuable. It's valuable to me. It's valuable to the internet world. So just keep doing it. And I agree, Lars. We got to keep passing it on. That's one of the things I like seeing is when you go to car shows, you go to races, you ever see the kids with their fingers in the chain link fence watching? That's the ones you want to go get a hold of and talk to. If nothing else, give them a sticker, give them a keychain, talk to them. Heck, they even ask for autographs. I carry a Sharpie for no other reason than just in case. I don't think I'm famous, and I never will be. But as a paramedic, I'm not kidding you, I've gone to open houses and been asked by a child for my autograph. It's crazy, but I wasn't going to disappoint them, so I pull out my pen and I signed, something for them, and we moved on. Don't think that's not going to happen at No Name. There are people watching you that don't even know are watching you, and they look up to you. Be ready for that. And if not, come by my booth, my tent, and I'm going to have Sharpies, so I'll make sure. Hey, Tim, that's all right, buddy. You put them out when you got them.
Have a good night, Buck, if you're still in here.
Did Buck take off?
Yeah.
All right, see you, Buck.
He had to punch out.
It's
I don't know
right.
what Buck does, but he...
Oh, yeah, he goes work, and then he's got that drive that he does, about 20-minute drive. Buck is a master of everything, I think.
He's got a cool Buick.
He does. No, Buck. He has a Buck.
Yeah.
Buck Skylark. See, look, Barrows using ATF to free up the shifter. So I'm actually going to try to make my shifter work. I don't know if I'm going to have to modify the detents so that I can use that TH350 with this 2-speed shifter, but I'm going to try to make the original shifter work. because my car came with a console in it.
You should be able to make it work.
I think I can make it work. All else fails, I only need to go and drive. See, look at that. Doug's got another tip for you. Instead of a matchbook, you're right. They are hard to find who uses matches, right? I still have some, but
Be honest, guys. Most people under the age of 30 don't even know what points look like.
nope. Preppers do. You got that whole prepper community. They know what it is. They're worried about the EMPs.
12 valve Cummins. If you can afford one.
I want one in my motorhome, and then I'll have a 460 freed up. Now, see, Patrick knows what he's doing there. He's got the kids showing up, lets them get in the car, lets them be a part of it. That's where, besides the Hot Wheels that I had as a child, sitting in my parents' car, sitting in my grandmother's car, whatever, that's where this came from. And then later working in the shop. You got to get that in them early, because we're about to hit a full electric self-driving era where, and I'm seeing it with my youngest son. He is driving now, but he's talked about he doesn't have that much interest in cars. He'd be fine being chauffeured everywhere on public transportation. And I'm not against it, but it hurts my heart a little bit that he doesn't want to really get into cars. But my older son loves cars. He's built multiple. He's got LS swap trucks. He's my car kid, that's for sure. And I love them all. But that's the generation gap. And what we're seeing is an entire era of children. It's just not important to them. Yeah. And my stepson, Eli, he loves cars. He is me as a kid. Hot Wheels. He's into tanks right now. Anything that with 4 wheels, and he's into it. He loves to come out and help work on the car. Doesn't know what he's doing, but he comes out and he plays. He's got his own toolbox. I'm not going to ever discourage him from doing it. It's important. Lighter E6. Well, thank you, Tim. We appreciate it, buddy. Doug, yeah, Eli, you know, he's my stepson, but he is definitely the little me. He's super into cars, and I hope at some point we get to build him his own. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Did you hear that? My stomach grackled.
Uh-oh. See, we got to get him fed, guys. So I think we're going to go ahead and get to wrapping this up. We got 18 in here, so I'm not abandoning you. I appreciate every one of you guys showing up. Our first live, I say it's my live, but I couldn't do it without Punisher Lemans Garage. He was so gracious to host me and let me come in here and just take over his garage. So go out there, watch his videos, give him some love. Let's get him to 1,000 before no name. But I kind of showed up before he got the chance to eat. So let's let him go do that.
It was awesome hanging out with everybody. We'll have to do it again.
Oh, we're definitely doing it again. It's too easy to get here for me. I'm definitely coming back if he'll take me.
Well, maybe next time I'll come to yours.
Uh-oh. Well, then I'll have to clean my garage. He warned me. He's like, I got to clean my garage. I'm like, nah, we're going to.
I almost left work early to clean it.
Nah, don't do that. If you guys have such a clean garage that you can't handle seeing our dirty garage, this is not the live for you. All right. I'm not looking to shut anybody down, but I got 2.5 hours left to drive, and he's got to eat because he's got to go to work tomorrow. Yeah. So I want to say thank you all for watching. Make sure you get out there and like, subscribe everybody's pages. Show Punisher some love so you can get this car done and to No Name Nationals. If you like what you're seeing, hit up buffsgarage.com. Get your T-shirt. Go find the cotter pin wherever it's at. And, just thank you guys for making my first live what it is. I appreciate it. It's been awesome. far exceeded my expectations. So thank you guys.
Yeah,
And
thank you guys.
I think with that, we're going to shut her down. Thanks to the mods, all the mods. I know they're not all in here now, but thank you guys for showing up and helping out, especially Bear Rose, man. You're always awesome. So I think that's it.
Yep.
Any final words? Nope. Okay, we're done. Thanks, guys.